Hello, everybody. Live here from Hillsborough High School. Unfortunately, Mother Nature has decided to delay our plans a little bit. The matchup between the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers and the Hillsborough Raiders is in a weather delay because of lightning and storms in the area. So, as you can see by the caption, tonight's game, as of right now, is set to begin with kickoff at 7:45 p.m. Of course, you'll join me, Tom Wilkins, along with Joey Pagan and Howard Gaber behind the controls. We will definitely take care of stuff at that time. If there are any updates, we will certainly advise you, of course, in accordance to the schools participating. So once again, thank you for hanging in there with us. Expect a 7:45 p.m. kickoff between the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers and the Hillsborough Raiders. Hope to see you again, and we'll keep you updated once we get something. Here we go. It is loud and it is wild here from Daniel Noonan Field here at Hillsborough High School in Hillsborough, New Jersey. Hello, everybody, and thank you for waiting. We were delayed about 45 minutes as we have the Hillsborough Raiders and the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers. They are about to start in just a couple of minutes. And obviously everything's kind of toned down as we're getting ready for kickoff here. Bridgewater Raritan with a 1-1 season so far. Hillsborough 2-0. I'm Tom Wilkins along with Joey Pagan. Howard Gaber taking care of the controls. Boy, this place has been electric in the last half hour, hasn't it?
It has been. There's such a big crowd here. This is my first time out here at high school football in New Jersey, and this crowd is amazing. How many students are out here to watch this game? It's got to be at least 200 students by themselves, not counting the other fans that are here also.
Well, let's not forget, we were trying to get a snack before the game, and when they started to let the crew in, we almost got run over by them.
We almost got trampled there. We had to lean up against the fence and make sure that we were safe.
Yeah, because we have a job to do as well. I believe what they're going to do is have the national anthem first.
Right.
So, okay, I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and have our national anthem before we get into other goings with Hillsborough and Bridgewater Raritan. Let's go ahead and listen.
I just heard Benny. Oh, yeah. That's what all of them sound like, but mine. Wow, listen to this sound system. Holy. I don't hear it on this side. You hear anything over there? Yeah, but do you hear anything over here? Here, pump. Come on, Mother Nature, hang in there. What's that? I'm not.
You can tell it's a wild crowd here at Hillsborough High School. We just had our national anthem here at Daniel Noonan Field. The Hillsborough Raiders in their home opener against the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers. And in a little bit of a rarity, we had the anthem first before the coin toss, which we will have from our referee today, Vic Simon, as Hillsborough and Bridgewater Raritan bring their captains out.
Oh, yeah.
And Vic will let us know as to how the coin toss progresses. So we're including a live referee microphone here. So let's go ahead and listen to Vic Simon.
Introduce yourselves. All right, fellas, I want to welcome you to tonight's game. My name is Mr. Simon. I will be your referee. Mr. Simon is your umpire. Mr. DiPolito is the clock operator. That clock is official. Anybody wants a timeout, it comes from one of you guys on the field or your head coach, okay? For today's purpose, this is the visiting team white, home team red. I've got a coin. Head, tail. Tail, head. What are you going to call? Oh, you're down that end. What are you going to call? Tails, here it goes. Let's see what it says. And it looks like tails to me. You've won the toss. You want to defer. White has won the toss and has refused. You guys want the ball? Yes. Which goal do you guys want to defend? You want the scoreboard? So you're going to kick from this direction. Put your backs down there, please. You guys over here. We'll receive in this end zone. Fellas, come together again. Shake hands. Good luck to both teams.
All right, there you have it. Bridgewater has won the toss. They decide to choose in the second half, so Hillsborough will get the ball first. They will move left to right, Bridgewater right to left, and will switch sides in the second quarter. You just heard the voice of referee Vic Simon. The rest of his officiating crew, umpire is Chris Simon. Head linesman is John Lenart. Line judge is Ben Rivera. Field judge is Ron Tantillo, and the side judge is Mike Napolitano. So, Joey, this obviously some exciting times for both teams. Hillsborough, of course, coming off 2 road wins over South Brunswick and literally shut down East Brunswick with a shutout last week in East Brunswick. Bridgewater Raritan, good times for them again as they routed us in their opener, played a heck of a game against Union last week but lost in extra time. Needless to say, you have DJ Catalano, who is the head coach of these Panthers. He's got this team ready to roll.
Yeah, I see that, right now the teams are both ready to kick off. But the electricity in this stadium is something else. I've never felt something like this before. You got the cheerleaders here. We're ready to kick off.
Well, Joey, we have 2 different types of electricity. The type Mother Nature delayed us about 50 minutes, and the electricity that's in this stadium. Referee blows his whistle. Hillsborough about to get the ball first, and here we go. A directional kick. And let's see where this lands. It's a live ball after 10 yards, but it's going to go out of bounds, and Hillsborough will probably get it about the 35, 40-yard line.
Yeah, they got a directional kick. Not sure why they did that, to start off the game.
All right, what do you want, 35 or re-kick?
All right, well, there's a choice being made. They could re-kick from the 35-yard line, so they're going to back it up 5 yards. I really do believe the reason why Bridgewater Raritan is directional kicking is one man, and that is the X Factor wearing number 3. Jackson Jankowitz, who last year ran 2 kickoffs back to the house for a touchdown, and both in the second half, if I recall correctly.
Okay, so now we know why the directional kicks. All right, this is something that I'm going to keep my eye on, this young man here. He's obviously on offense, too, right now. So if he's the man, we're going to see tonight how good he is.
All right, well, the Hillsborough Raiders led by junior quarterback Alex Reiling, who started the last couple of games last year, and now he's a full-time duty here with a 4-receiver set, tripling to right on the first home play of the year. It's Jankowicz crossing the 40 and plowing us tonight to the 44-yard line. That is the X factor Hillsborough has.
I see that now. I see the power that he has when he runs. He's got a good base, and he ran really hard on there. Wasn't afraid to shy away from the contact either.
Well, 2 weeks ago, he ran for 99 yards and a touchdown. He had 153 all-purpose yards last week, including 100 yards rushing, as Bridgewater evidently jumped, or were they pulled off? Yep, they were pulled off. So
first down.
So that is an encroachment violation. That means first down for Hillsborough after the 5-yard gain. And that will make it the 49-yard line for Hillsborough, their first home drive of the year. Hillsborough in their maroon uniforms with, shall we say, darkish gold pants and numerals and burgundy helmets, or black helmets with the burgundy stripe. Here's a handoff and plowing to about the 47, maybe about 4-yard gain this time. Now, Bridgewater's defense is quite good, so you just got to remember, and they're pretty stout up the middle.
He had a good run there again. The linebackers were able to make the play, and he got, only 4 yards on this play, and not as much as he did on the first one. So, I mean, you still got a 3-receiver set to the right and a single receiver on the left. So, I mean, we're going to see if they play action one of these plays here, possibly.
Okay, rallying into shotgun. This is what we normally see from Hillsborough. It's a lot of tempo and a lot of receiver sets. And now a play fake and a throw just a little high and incomplete. That went in the direction of a junior Chimney Ozukpor, who just couldn't come down. His pass was a little bit high, but it forces a 3rd and 6.
Yes, it was. It was a little high. It looked like the defender was able to deflect it a little bit, too, but it didn't look like the receiver was open on that play there. Well,
they're going to go 3rd and 6, tripling the near side here as Reiling stands in the shotgun. Bridgewater Raritan looks to show blitz, and now looks like Reiling is audibilizing here. Keeping the same set here on 3rd and 6. Back to pass, 2-step drop, he fires, and they went again to Ozukpor, and it's incomplete. Some fans wanted a flag. I don't think they're going to get it. It's going to be 4th down. I would think Hillsborough is going to punt.
I think the pass was just a little too high for him to handle, but, I mean, I didn't see him jump either, so he might have been able to get that if he jumped a little bit.
Well, Chimney has 5 receptions for 99 yards in the 2 games that he's played against, of course, South Brunswick and East Brunswick. Here, I mean, this is a little bit of a different test here. Bridgewater Raritan, this is a good Panther team. Keep in mind, this team really held Hillsborough almost off the scoreboard in the first half last year in the game in Bridgewater Raritan before Hillsborough won, I believe it was 17-6 with a good second half. All right, in the punt, let's see what Hillsborough does. Oh, they're going to play fake it. No, they're going to punt it. That was a little bit of an unusual punt, but directionally, he's going to get out of bounds inside of 10. We'll see what they mark it. The 11.
That was a great punt. It looked like he was going to fake that and take off, and then he wind up punting the directional kick over here. Then the ball went out of bounds at looks like the 11, like you said.
So Bridgewater Raritan will have their first road possession of the year. We're only 2:25 into this contest. Hillsborough ends up punting on their opening drive after just 1 first down. Now we're going to see quarterback Jack Bray, who is a senior, 5'10", and dealing with a triple to the right on his opening play and a back to the right. Back to passes, Bray's going to throw, and the pass is knocked down incomplete. It looked like it was heading in the direction of Joe Spira, who's a guy that we've really got to watch today because he can really find a way to wreck a game.
Yeah, the pass looked like it was a little short there on that. The receiver was open. The defender was on him really good too, but, I mean, looked like it was a short pass.
All right, so they're going to run tempo. And keep in mind, Bridgewater Raritan will kind of change cadence here. Here's a handoff on second. Oh, nice. Turn the corner to 20, the 30. He could go all the way to midfield. You believe this? He's going to be touched down about the 20-yard line. What a run and what a saving tackle by Tyler Van Cleef, the senior, who just stopped a touchdown run and only allows 69 yards. What a run.
That was a great run. Great saving tackle by Tyler there. He managed to get on his bike and managed to run him down. It didn't look like anybody was going to get him.
Ends up being 67 yards on that run. So continuing tempo, first down. Now Hillsborough was able to get back. But I don't think they had everybody set. So 1st and 10. From the Hillsborough 22, here's Bray, going to throw short, pass is caught. Turning around to the 15, to 10, knifing through inside the 5-yard line. Down to about the 3.
Number 20.
That would be Dane Sorensen, the senior. And he plays fullback as well as linebacker, so he is multidimensional. So I'll tell you, Bridgewater Raritan's bringing quite a pace here. So now 1st and goal at the 3 after a gain of 19. Bray waiting for a last-second substitution to come in. Now they line up 2 receivers on the left. Now they send a man in motion. Again, 1st and goal. A handoff up the middle, driving through, but not getting in there.
Great play. Great play by the linebacker, number 7.
Once again, we mentioned Ozukpor, who ends up being he's doing well on offense and defense, and when you have a multi-tool player that is usually very good on both ends of the ball and knows his assignment, it makes it better for the defense to work around him.
He saw the hole and shot right through it.
All right, here's a keeper by Brace, tripped
Great
up,
play.
Tripped
Again.
up down at the 6.
That's number 5 on the tackle there.
I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry.
Jonathan Lobello.
Yep, John Lobello, the senior.
There it is, John Lobello.
Yeah, obviously he brings some experience at defensive front. And now, after a couple-yard loss, once again, Bridgewater Raritan, the Panthers, running tempo here after a 3-yard loss. Bray in the shotgun. Man goes in motion to the right, back to pass, looking, firing, knocked away, and I think it might have been intercepted. It was intercepted in the end zone. It had to have been deflected.
By number 22.
The interception,
Mateo
Del Toro.
Del Toro, yes.
I'll tell you one thing, that's one way to stop a drive. Force a turnover in the end zone, a touchback. We got to check a replay on this, Joey.
All right.
Carapez Electric, what'd you see on this one?
I think he was trying to get the tight end here, but you know I don't know if the pass was a little too hard. But let's see, we have the motion coming here. The motion goes across the middle. Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, it was the 2 receiver that came across, and the pass was deflected by the defender.
And right into the hands of Del Toro, so it ends up being a huge interception. Hillsborough gets it back, and they're going to hand this off on first down.
Still on his feet.
Oh, still on his feet. Not for too much, but good second effort that time. And ends up being a couple of yards on the play for, that would be number 25, Michael Bynes, the junior, who we're probably going to see some action, trade him out in Jankowitz.
I would say so. I mean, the other kid is a great runner, but this kid here, he got some moves too. He made a cut. He was able to elude some of the defenders and still get out of that pile that he was in.
All right, 4 receivers tripling the left on 2nd and 7 from the 23. Riling bobbles it for a moment. Here's a pass deflected and incomplete. Again, threw a fastball to his up part and went off his hands.
It went off his hands. He's been a little off target. He's been throwing the ball a little high right now, and the receivers haven't been able to bring it down.
But I think on both sides of the ball for both teams, I guess considering the clock works a little bit off because we started 50 minutes late because of the weather. And the sounds you're hearing in the background, the Pride of Hillsborough Raider marching unit is now making its way to the stands area. So with a 3-wide slot left, 3rd and 7 for the 23. Riling is going to go with an inside handoff, and Bridgewater Raritan read that nicely.
Yep.
So it ends up only being a yard, and now Hillsborough will end up going 3 and out following the turnover.
Once again, 3 and out. I mean, it wasn't 3 and out the first drive, but to come out 3 and out here is not a good look for them at the moment. The defense for Raritan right now is stopping the run and everything. I mean, a couple of miscues with the passes that are thrown a little too high, but, you know, he's got to work that out.
Well, head coach DJ Catalano, the new head coach for Bridgewater Raritan, I mean, he really has his team firing on all cylinders here. So Hillsborough forced the punt. Just waiting for the signal as they try and send a man in motion.
Ball gone!
And a low line drive. That's going to take a Hillsborough bounce, and they're going to let it roll to the 34-yard line.
Not a bad punt.
42-yard punt, no return.
Good, no return.
So it'll be Bridgewater getting the ball back 1st and 10. Try to get a sponsor list here momentarily. And as we mentioned, Bridgewater Raritan, of course, their main rushers are Devin Goldberg and Dane Sorensen. Not sure which one had that 67-yard run on the opening drive, but
yeah, I don't remember who it was either. That's correct, but that was a great run. Let's see what they come up with here again. If they call that play again.
Well, hopefully Hillsborough will be ready this time. 1st and 10, and they're got. Oh, and he throws it. Is that a lateral? Is that a lateral? They're trying to recover it, and Bridgewater does back at about the 26. So it is 2nd down as Bridgewater fell on it, but that's a big loss on the play.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do there. It didn't even look like the receiver was ready for the ball. The back that came out the backfield.
Or wasn't in the right position, which can happen.
Look that way. Look that way.
So it ends up being a big loss back to the 20. It looks like the 27. So it'll be 2nd and 17 following that. Here's Spray back to pass, and it's caught. And once again, Sorensen crossing the 30, gets about the 31, maybe the 32 for a gain of 5. So now 3rd and long still exists, but at least, and I think we got a shaken Hillsborough player.
Our time. Guys, go to your side over there.
So while we do this, while they attend to a Hillsborough player, we'll take a break with 4:20 left in the first. No score between the Panthers and Raiders. We'll be back in a moment.
When you want reliable work, trust family-owned A&B Landscaping to make your property look its best. With over 25 years of experience, our design team will help create an oasis in your backyard with landscaping, hardscaping, retaining walls, and more. Our commercial customers rely on us for landscaping and maintenance too. So no matter what type of property, we can handle it. We're the company you can trust, so give us a call today.
Okay, we're back here in Hillsborough. We had a shaken up Raider, which had to be John Labello, so hopefully it's not too serious of an injury. Probably missed a play or two.
Looks to be okay. He's walking off on his own power right now, so.
And I think the key here is for both teams, especially after a hot week, hopefully they are all hydrated and that we don't see like these cramp injuries that will occur more likely in the second half. Now on third down, here is Bray back to pass. He's being rushed, and he's going to have to launch it to the Hillsborough sideline. Incomplete.
Good rush by the defense there.
So Bray returns the favor and goes 3 and out as Hillsborough's defense holds. Of course, the lateral kind of destroyed the drive, and it'll be punting time for the Panthers.
The defensive end did a good job holding the edge there to not allow him to get outside, so which is why he had to throw the ball out of bounds. There was nobody open either. None of the receivers were open. They were all covered. You got a punt now.
All right, so Hillsborough has a man standing at the, looks like the 32-yard line. Now be careful because with this new staff, they could try some trick plays. Good snap. And a low punt, which is going to go out of bounds, probably about the 45. We'll see what the side official says. The 40, very close to the midfield stripe.
It looks like he's putting it right on the 50.
So that's good news for Hillsborough because now they only have half the field to travel here on the third drive. So, Joey, you've seen these teams on 2 drives. What have you witnessed so far?
Right now, the Bridgewater defense is doing well with recognizing the run and being able to come up and stop it. They're doing pretty good defending the pass, even though, like I said, the quarterback is not making the connections. He's throwing the ball a little too high.
I think a lot of it may be a little bit nerves being the home opener, too. All right, on 1st and 10, here's a key to Jankowicz, who tried to get open on the left side and only gets about 2 to the 48-yard line in Bridgewater territory. So a 2-yard pickup, but good, like I said, good penetration by the defense.
Good penetration by the defense. He recognized the run right away. He saw the window open up and took it and ran it into the backfield. Number 3, the tackle was made by number 3, Logan.
That would be Logan Curzan.
He realized and saw the window. He just took off and made a play.
Well, they gave Jankowicz 3, and now it'll be 2nd and 7 for the 47-yard line as Hillsborough is in Bridgewater territory. They do the same formation, tripling to right on a 4-receiver set. They inside handoff to Jankowicz, and not much there to the 45-yard line. And again, leading the charge is the sophomore, Andrew Schwartz, who was able to plug up the middle, and that forces 3rd and manageable. And they're actually going to give him 3 on the play.
He was there, but the linebackers also recognizing they're seeing the play quicker, and they're making the plays. You know, they're coming up. Yes, it's for a yard or 2, but they're at least coming up and making the plays and not allowing them to get any further than that.
What would you call here on 3rd and 4?
I'd play action again, but he got to throw the ball right. I'll play action again.
And I might try Ozukpor if he gets into a middle post and he has some space, but we'll see. 3rd and 4 from the 44-yard line. Running the play. That was a direct snap, and it didn't work.
No, it wasn't. He handed it off to him.
Mateo Del Toro ended up getting in. He ends up losing yardage. And Hillsborough end up punting as they get only to the 49-yard line. I'm not sure if there was just broken coverage or maybe Bridgewater just jumped precisely on time.
It looked like they were trying to run a jet sweep, but, it didn't work because the defense read it. That once again, the defensive end held the edge. They didn't get outside. He had to go further out, and the cornerback and the linebacker were able to step up and make a play.
Well, let's just say there was no fuel in that jet sweep on that play, but that's why they practice it. Okay, so punting once again, a low snap this time, but getting it off and taking it about the 19-yard line, gets through 1 tackle and takes off to about the near 40-yard line. A lot of action along the far sideline there, but a good return to close to the 40-yard line. And it looks like the Panthers are going to be starting right there, 1st and 10 with 1:37 left in the first.
Looks like Hillsborough needs to start doing a little directional kicks themselves because this kid returning the ball, you got a couple of good returns now. So,
well, once again, the quarterback, Jack Bray, who's done rather well so far in the first couple drives. Let's see what he sets up with.
On my whistle, quarterback. On my whistle. On my whistle.
Well, they're setting things up, and I just learned something I'll tell you about in the next play. So 1st and 10 for Bray and the Panthers here. Ball spot at the 40-yard line. Gonna call his own number, and only back to the line of scrimmage. So good play by Hillsborough there. Second, maybe about 9.5. Now, of course, I'm with Joey Pagan, who I just learned this is your first high school football game?
This is my first high school
After
football
all
game.
these years?
Yeah, this is the first one I've called. Yes, sir.
Oh, the first one you've called. I
Yeah.
mean, we had to be a little more general than that.
Yeah.
But well, here's a pitch out left side, and a good tackle about the 42-yard line. So only about a yard and a half, and guess who's back? Labello.
LaBello again with the tackle. Once again, he saw the opening, he saw the hole, he shot just like you taught. You know, when you see the window, you fill it. Just go straight through, run through. That's it. You'll run into the ball carrier in the backfield eventually.
And the back went down rather quickly, so it ends up being a 3rd and 8 from the 42-yard line. Both defenses have been on their A game so far.
It's a very good game right now. At the moment, it's a good defensive game right now. They're playing both teams.
That's what it was like last year at Bridgewater Raritan before Hillsborough had a great second half. 3rd and 8 from the 42. He's spraying an empty gun. Loki's going to throw one up the middle. A little bit too high, incomplete. Tried to go middle fly, and it didn't work for Schwartz, so it's incomplete.
For number 2, they
I
tend to
beg
receive
you, but
with
that
number
would be
2.
Spira. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Schwartz. I was looking at the wrong thing again.
He overthrew him. He had time, and the pass was just overthrown a little bit. Unbelievable.
I mean, he had the right idea trying to break the seam, and it was just the timing that was just a slight bit off.
Right. That's pretty much it. If it would have been a much better pass, he would have, probably led him into the end zone.
Okay, Van Cleef is standing back at about the 23-yard line for what has been a 3-3 game when it comes to punts.
All right, let's see.
Checking to make sure both teams have the proper 11 on the field. On with the snap, rolls left, and will punt it towards Van Cleef. Will he take it on the bounce? He will, 25, and tripped up at about the 28-yard line. So at least he moves a couple of yards closer, and Hillsborough begin at 28 as we're down to a few seconds left here in the quarter.
All right, let's couple seconds.
So I believe the clock stopped a little late, so we're looking at about 7 seconds left here in the first.
Watch out.
So Hillsborough will have 1st and 10.
We're going to finish.
Ball spot at the 30-yard line, so Hillsborough gets okay position here.
Here we go on my whistle.
All right, so once again, here's Riling with 1st and 10. And they're going to hand. There's Jankovic. Going to try and turn the corner. Slips through 35, 38-yard line.
What did he do with the clock?
And that was a good tackle on the part of Logan Kierson, who was able to bring him down. But a nice game by Jankovic that time. So, Joey, I mean, you've so far 3 possessions. I know each. And now we have an official timeout trying to figure out what the okay, so we're gonna call it the quarter here. The official said let's switch sides. So I'll ask Joey when we come back. So we'll take a break. We're at quarter time with Hillsborough and Bridgewater Raritan, no score. Quarter number 2 at this one after this. Okay, we're back here at quarter number 2 here at Daniel Noonan Field here in Hillsborough. I'm Tom Wilkins with Joey Pagan doing his first high school football game. I'm probably going to be mentioning that a lot. And Howard Gaber taking care of the controls here. Glad you're with us, and thanks for your patience. We are a little behind because of the storms and lightning that delayed the game by about 45 minutes. But here we are, Hillsborough with a 2nd and a yard from the 39-yard line after a 9-yard game by Jankovic. They hand this one off, and that'll be a first down, going to about the the 44-yard line. And that is Shane Powell, the senior, who was able to move the chains.
Yeah, he hit the hole really quick. He kept his shoulders down low, so he was able to get through and fight through the defense to get that extra yard or two so he can make the play, get the first down for them.
And by the way, for those of you checking us out here from Hillsborough and from Bridgewater Raritan, make sure you subscribe to HSG Network. We have so many other things going on. Of course, Sunday we got some events happening, so definitely check us out, HSG Network on YouTube. Please support and subscribe. Lots of good things coming. We also got some progress scores, which we'll talk to you about later on. But Hillsborough has 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line as Riling is going to go to Jankowitz, and he'll dive his way off the left tackle to the 47-yard line. And, Joey, you've said you like the atmosphere here, or is this an understatement I'm saying?
No, this is a great atmosphere here. This atmosphere, I've gone to games, high school games, I've gone to games in the Bronx, in New York, and there's nowhere this level of commitment between the student body and fans, family members and stuff like that coming out to the game. This stadium is actually packed right now. Standing room only here just about.
Not very many seats to be had here. Here's a handoff, and Bridgewater is ready as Powell tried to go through, and he went pow down for a 1-yard loss.
That defense was swarming there. You had everybody coming up for the ball. They read the run right away, and they came up and they all made a play.
Hey, some progress scores for you. Got a couple games right now. Ridge and Phillipsburg no score. They just got underway. North Brunswick and Edison in an 8-8 draw right now. Hunter and Central and Elizabeth are 7-7 in the second. Both games in the second quarter. Also, Old Bridge 14-0 over South Brunswick, and Montgomery 7-6 over Plainfield. They just got underway. A lot of games delayed, of course, because of the inclement weather and dangerous lightning throughout New Jersey. All right, 3rd and 8 now from the 46 as Riling able to throw off his foot and tried to get it in the direction of James Rue, but couldn't get it, incomplete.
The defender got in there, almost got a sack. I'm surprised that the quarterback was able to get away from him on that. And he was able to get away and managed to get the ball off. Was good on his part to avoid that sack there.
So it would be punting time, I believe, of 4th and 8 from the 46, unless the head coach, Kevin Carty Jr., has another plan up his sleeve. But it looks like it will be Michael Bynes to punt yet again. Returner standing about the 25-yard line. Good snap.
Oh, it's a fake.
He's going to try running it. There's a flag down. Crossing midfield. He got to the 44 for a first down, but let's see what the flag is about at about the 43 of Hillsborough. And we're going to find out from referee Vic Simon in a moment.
Formation on the offense.
So an illegal formation foul against the Hillsborough team, so that's going to back it up 5, and now they're going to think twice about faking the punt. You have to have 7 men on the line of scrimmage, and evidently Hillsborough did not.
That's right. They did not have enough guys on the line of scrimmage, so that's why the penalty, and now they're going to be taking the ball. They were consulting with the other coach. Obviously, you're going to take the penalty because you're not going to give them a first down.
Dane Sorensen will now be standing at about the 30-yard line, and I think the official's going to talk to the head. We're going to have a timeout, I believe. Timeout's going to be called by Bridgewater Raritan. So guess we're going to stay right here. And Joey, what you've seen so far, you compare your stuff from where you come from, being at games and things. What are the differences you see amongst these particular leagues, like the style of play and everything else?
Well, here the kids are more aggressive. They're really good. They're smart. They're reading their keys. The linebackers are filling the holes the way they're supposed to. You got defensive ends holding the edge, which they need to do so that don't let the quarterback or the backs get outside. And they seem to be pretty smart on defense. Both teams are doing a great job defensively at this moment.
All right, so it'll be 4th and 13 after the timeout by Bridgewater Raritan. And once again, Sorensen will be standing at about the 30-yard line. Like I said, they did try the fake punt, but it didn't work. The illegal formation foul backed it up 5 yards. And now we'll see what Bynes get this time.
He's still running.
Yeah, he is. And that one's not going to work this time.
Wow.
I'm surprised. It was like whatever happened was a broken play, and Bridgewater Raritan said 3 words, fool me once.
Yeah, I mean, it did look like he was not going to punt that ball. It looked like he wanted to take off and run with it for a first down, and I think that was a big mistake. You're giving Bridgewater the ball with good field position right now. You give him a little momentum.
I mean, it almost seemed comparable to Kansas City's 4th and 25 at the end of the game last night.
Oh yeah, that was
that was a little interesting. But then again, hey, we don't call the plays. So Bridgewater Raritan with a great opportunity on first down as Bray is going to take a shot, and it's incomplete intent for Sorensen. That was very close. I mean, obviously you try and get the home run shot when you have the opportunity, and they took it and almost got it.
They almost got it. He had the defender beat by a step, looked like, and he just couldn't come down with the ball. I'm glad that they took that shot. Let's see what they do on this play here.
Well, they're not letting Hillsborough catch their breath, that's for sure. On second down, they're going to go with a handoff, and getting to about maybe the 37-yard line, that would be Devin Goldberg. He was the one who had that 67-yard run earlier in the game on his very first carry. Almost took it all the way back home to Bridgewater.
That's correct. I mean, once again, like I said, the defense right now is playing really good right now. It's a defensive battle at the moment.
Well, it's a 2-yard pickup, and now 3rd and 8. Ball spot at the 38-yard line. Let's see what quarterback Jack Bray decides to do. Gonna go with a handoff. It's not gonna work.
Not gonna work.
That was a long developing play, and Hillsborough was able to time it well enough to stop it right there. Now we're gonna see what the interesting call is gonna be on 4th down.
Well, I mean, the defensive end looked like he read that play really well. It didn't fool him at all. He was able to step up and make the play for them.
Well, they're gonna go for it the way it looks right now. I mean, 4th and 7, and now whistles blow. We're giving our timeout here. Yes, Bridgewater will call another timeout. So let's take a break with 8:27 left in the half. No score with the Panthers and the Raiders. We'll be back in a moment. Wasn't very long of a timeout. An unusual formation here on 4th down at the 37-yard line. Let's see what Jack Bray does. This is interesting.
What?
And the pass is caught, and I don't think he got the first down. He's like 2 yards short. That was an interesting line. They got to Sorensen, but he's about 2 yards shy at the 31-yard line. So, like Hillsborough, Bridgewater turns the ball over on downs, and Hillsborough will get it back. But what do you call that play?
I was just going to ask you, what formation is that? What do you call that? Because, I mean, I've never.
It's called the swinging gate, circa Indianapolis Colts from a few years ago.
Similar to that, yes. And
I don't know exactly what that was, but, I mean, it was a nicely designed play, but Hillsborough was able to just make the stop. And they get the ball back 1st and 10 from the 31. So each team with 3 punts and 1 turnover on downs. And that's why we're no score. 8-12 left till halftime. And now we got an official timeout here.
Well, once again, the defense read the play well. They didn't get fooled by the formation.
There we go.
And was able to make a good open field tackle, which is what was important. Because if he breaks the 1 tackle, he's off to the races there.
So Riling will be in the shotgun. They triple the right side. 1st and 10. Rowling trying to make sure everybody's lined up correctly. Back to his left. And I believe that would be Jankowitz.
Nothing wrong with that.
Up the middle he goes, and he'll get to about the 33, about a 2-yard pickup. So one thing we've seen, that X factor, Jankowitz, the Bridgewater defense has done a good job game planning for him.
They have. I mean, his first couple of runs were really electric. He was good. He had some good space. But the defense now is holding their own. The defensive line is getting good penetration and not allowing him to get started, because once he gets started, we see now that he can go. So you want to hit him early and stop him, so not give him the momentum to keep going.
It looks like they have an extra lineman here on this 2nd and 8 play. And it's a handoff trying to go up the middle, and it's not going to be very much there as there's a tug of war of attrition like rugby there. They get to about the 33, so maybe got another foot.
The defensive tackle there, Christopher Lopez made the tackle there.
And what was the key to stopping that play?
He just shut off the offensive guard and was able to make a play. He stepped into the hole right away, and he read it, broke down and made a tackle. It was great. And then, once again, supporting cast, linebackers, and everyone else came over and made a play.
Okay, evidently we have an issue with our clock, but we know there's under 7 minutes left here in the first half, so we'll keep it on the scoreboard for you. 3rd and 8, and wait up. We have timeout called by Hillsborough this time. So they'll use their first timeout. We'll grab a break with 6:48 left in the half. No score to Panthers and Raiders. We'll come back in a moment.
Quarterback on by whistle.
Okay, we are back as Hillsborough just used their first time out of the half. Talking about 3rd and 8 as the ball is right outside the 34-yard line. Again, looks like they're tripling the right side. 4 receiver set back to the left of Riling, who's in the shotgun. Let's see what he does. Takes a snap. Oh, they're coming after him, and he's going down.
Yep.
Somebody missed a block on the offensive line, and it ends up being a sack. The sack by number 19, Chris Del Santro, the junior. He was able to plow through the line. Somebody just missed the block and took advantage of it.
He was on the line of scrimmage from the very beginning. He didn't disguise his blitz not once. He just shot the gap and was able to get through and make a good play on the quarterback.
I mean, this has been a back-and-forth game of attrition. I mean, somebody's got to score points here, we'll just have to say, at some juncture of this game. But at this point, we're a quarter and a half into this one. There's none to be had. Punt number 4 now for Bynes, who's standing as 10. Good snap. Not going to try the same thing 3 times. And a fair catch caught at the 46-yard line by Sorensen. So Bridgewater Raritan will start their own 46, 1st and 10.
Once again, this is a great game, a good defensive battle here. Both schools are they did their homework. They watched film. They know what to expect, and they're making the plays. They were both prepared well for this game.
And somebody actually suggested a couple days ago, this is a different type of challenge for Hillsborough, and we have seen it so far with this Bridgewater Raritan team. And we'll see how things play out as it's 1st and 10 from the 46. Jack Bray will hand this one off, and diving to about the midfield stripe is a Goldberg. So he picks up 4 to make it a 2nd and 6 from there.
It was a good run by him. He managed to squeeze through there and get by the defenders, the front line, and then the linebacker made the tackle. But it was a good play by the running back.
That was more like a halfback dive up the middle. Well, here comes a pitch out to Goldberg, and he's going to have some space this time, and he's going to get close to the first down. We'll see where they spot it. To the 45, maybe the 44. Yeah, he did get the first down according to the official.
Yep, he got it.
So they're gonna move the chains. It's gonna take a moment for that. Obviously, this is what Bridgewater Raritan doesn't like. They do their own fast version of tempo, and it's things like that slow them down. So now another handoff up the middle to about the 40-yard line for another 4-yard pickup. And once again, Goldberg, that 1-2 punch coming in. Goldberg ran for 91 yards on a touchdown, and Sorensen 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. So that's been basically the 1-2 punch.
Seems like they're wearing the defense down.
And here's an interception!
By the
Going back
defensive
the other
lineman.
way! Crossing the 40, the 30, the 20, down to the 11-yard line! A huge play by number 24, Shane Powell, the senior rumbled all his way back. Almost did DeMarcus Lawrence there.
That was a great play by the linebacker there. I don't know how the quarterback didn't see him there, but good effort by the Bridgewater person to get back there and make that play and not allow him to score. Here we got a replay. Let's take a look here.
So where do you see Powell lined up?
Actually, he's outside as a linebacker. He just sits in the gap, reads it. There it is.
Thank you very much.
Off to the races, but not the end zone yet.
Well, they're going to spot the ball to 13. 1st and 10. Riling with a huge moment here. And they're going to hand this one off. There's Jankowitz, and he'll dive inside the 10, down to about the 9, maybe the 8.
It's a good
It's a
tackle.
4-yard pickup.
Good pickup, good run by him now. You know, I mean, the momentum right now is shifting a little bit. We can feel that going for Hillsborough right now with that big defensive play. So,
Well, think about this. Even Steven game, the difference, 2 turnovers already, 2 interceptions thrown by Bray, and that's been the difference so far. 2nd and goal from the 9, Hillsborough in the maroon zone. And they're going to hand it off again, but nice defense again, led by Joe Spira. The senior was able to plug it up for maybe a yard. So now a big 3rd down coming up.
Right. Once again, the defense was not full. The linebackers didn't go out with the fake. They sat in their spots. They read what they were supposed to read, their keys, and come up and make a play on that. Once again, like I said, both schools have been watching film, and they've been well coached to this point. They know exactly what's happening here.
Well, they're going to line up 4 receivers, tripling to right. Jankowitz still up the Riling. And now something Riling didn't like something he saw, so they're going to use their 2nd timeout right here. So the clock says 3:26 left till halftime. We'll keep it here for the moment. Panthers and Raiders, no score, but for how much longer? Joey, what do you think they're talking about?
Right now, you're talking about probably the formation. Maybe the defense realized what they were going to try to run. Once again, like I said, both schools have done their homework, and the defense looked like they were set up for what he was trying to run right now, and he had to call a timeout. If not, they would have lost. They would have probably lost it down there, and it would have been 4. Not sure if they have a field goal kicker at this point, but I mean, really, both teams. Great defensive plays up until this point. We had that 1 interception for momentum, but now Bridgewater, with a couple of really good stops, is gaining that momentum back little by little, and they may wind up taking it from them.
And Hillsborough's, I mean, not taking away from Bridgewater's defense, but Hillsborough's come away with 2 huge plays, especially with those 2 interceptions. One that stopped cold a potential scoring drive by the Panthers. So same formation here, 3rd and we're going to say 7 from the 9 as Riling back the pass. Here comes a run. They pass wide open. Welcome to the end zone. Sound of the alarm there. A beautiful pass on the punt to Ryan Seaman, the junior. He was able to snag it home, and Hillsborough gets the first points.
There's your first letdown by the defense, huh? They didn't see the receiver coming across the back of the end zone there. He was wide open. Touchdown.
And a beautiful pass, basically more skinny inner post.
That's correct.
And he was wide open.
Yeah, he was wide open. I don't know where the defenders were in that moment.
Well, I think as soon as Riling saw the rush, he then went and found the man wide open. So beautifully done. All right, so I guess Hillsborough is going to try a version of the swinging gate.
We got a kick.
Okay, so it's Andrew Advard who will be trying the extra point. Snap kick on its way, and it's 7-0.
Oh, there it is. Once again, like I said, right? You had the momentum swing with that big interception. Hillsborough gets back, and then, Bridgewater was able to come up with a couple of good plays. All right, here we are.
Let's look at this Pez replay here. Watch the skinny post here.
Yeah.
Once they start coming, boom.
It was the number 2 receiver. He did like a dig to go out, but then came back in. The defender slipped a little bit on that play. He was a good move by the receiver on that. And he got wide open and was able to make a great catch, great pass.
So it ends up, it was actually Advani who caught the pass. It looked like he was listed number 16, but it was actually number 18 that made the grab.
Correct, number 18.
So my apologies on that one. 16, Seaman is listed as a junior quarterback.
Okay.
So we're just trying to clarify everything because sometimes numbers can get slightly confusing.
That's correct. We're set to kick off now. Let me see. There's some issue with Hillsborough at the moment.
All right, so 3:21 remains in the first half. Just say a delay in play to make sure they get the kicking ball
They needed the kicking
in
ball.
play.
Everyone's excited on the Hillsborough sideline. Forgot to bring out the kicking ball. All right, we're ready to go.
All right, and he will come through with the kickoff here. Away that goes.
Good kick.
But it might go out of bounds. It
Yeah,
does,
it does.
at the 5-yard line. So tough break for Hillsborough. Remember, it's live after 10 yards, but they tried to keep it along the sideline, but it bounced out of bounds. So
Let's see what they do. I guess they're going to take
put
it
him at a 35-yard line like the last time.
Correct.
Vic Simon will explain to us.
Illegal procedure on the kicking team. First down.
He said illegal procedure on the kicking team. That's what it is. The ball spotted on
yeah,
the 35.
technically it's illegal procedure, but in this case, the kickoff went out of bounds. So let's see what Jack Bray has this time around. 1st and 10 for the 35-yard line. And they're going to they call his own number, and it's not going to be for much. Bray for only a yard. I guess they faked the end around to Sorensen, so he kept himself a run-pass option. That didn't amount for very much.
Hillsborough was blitzing on that play again. So, let's see what they do. See if they continue to bring up the pressure here.
Here's a handoff, and only getting to about the 38-yard line this time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this Bridgewater team plays super fast. Goldberg with the carry now for 2 more.
And number 24, Powell with the tackle. Once again, he read his keys. He sat there, and he waited. He didn't go for any fakes.
Here's Bray back on 3rd down. They lob a pass, and it's caught, but it's going to be short of a 1st down at about the 43-yard line.
Right.
4th down.
So, and again, Sorensen with the catch for another 5 yards. And I'll be interested to see what Bridgewater decides to do. They have only 1 timeout. We're coming up to 2:20 left till halftime.
Looks like they're going to kick. I'm not sure yet.
Well, they're bringing the special teams personnel. Of course, remember, they tried a 4th down fake, and it didn't work, just like Hillsborough tried one and it didn't work. So even Steven, if you want to call it that.
Let's see what they do here.
Just keep an eye out. Van Cleef standing at about the 30, and he's going to return it from there. Let's see if he gets through one. He does to the 40, spins around, goes to about the 48-yard line. So an 18-yard return by Van Cleef, and Hillsborough, who has 1 timeout left and a minute 45 till halftime. I mean, they could do something here.
They can. The offense is fired up a little more now. I mean, they're clicking a little more. They had that once again. That big interception gave them momentum. And the shift of momentum now is on Hillsborough's side. So they're doing well right now. The passes are a little more crisp, a little more sharper. He's realizing and seeing the receivers sooner and being able to get a good pass off, setting his feet and throwing the ball.
So the ball be spotted at the 48-yard line. Riley making sure everybody's set. Backs to his right this time. Let's see if they try to do some of the same stuff and loosen their defense. A delayed handoff, and going to about the 49-yard line, maybe a 3-yard pickup, but Hillsborough has to realize a minute 35 and counting, they got to go tempo and fast.
Yes, that's right. It's a good tackle by number 20 against Sorensen on that play. He's all over the field this evening.
Yeah, he definitely does a good job on both sides of the ball, no question. And let's also not forget about Joe Spira, who came into this game with 17 tackles, 3 of them for loss.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Let's see what they bring up here now. 2nd, and it looks like maybe 7.
Yeah, ball spotted at the 49-yard line of Bridgewater. Riling back the pass, has some time. Going to take a shot down the field, and it's a double coverage! And it's knocked away incomplete.
Oh, knocked away by number 3.
Yeah, good play on the part of Logan Kierson, who was able to knock it away. I think Daniel Allen was the intended receiver.
I think so, but the defender read the play really well and came over. The safety came over right away and was able to knock the ball out. I think he tried to intercept it, but, he couldn't bring it in. But he knocked the ball away, which was great.
Well, clock's in the red with 58 seconds, still halftime. Remember, each team with 1 timeout. Hillsborough has to get to the 42 to move the chains. 3rd and 7 from the 49, and here's Riling. There's going to be a handoff up the middle. That's going to be a first down, maybe, depending on the spot of the ball. Oh, it's going to be close. Hillsborough says they got it, but we'll see what the official says.
Did he hit the line? We got a first down.
Yeah, they called it a first down. They did call it a first down, so they'll move the chains.
First down, Hillsborough.
It's always a benefit to hear the referee talk into your headset.
Wind it.
It was a great run by the running back there.
All right, I think it might have been Jankowitz here. They're going to triple the left side here. 4 receivers set, 1st and 10 for the Bridgewater 42 for Riling. Back, a quick rush, pass, incomplete. There was a lot of traffic in the middle. Oh, and then a little bit of pushing and shoving there after which. Be careful. Andrew Schwartz, the intended receiver there.
Yeah, well, the defenders saw the ball, really well. There were 2 defenders there. It was going to be really tight for him to squeeze in that pass. So, almost was not going to happen there, but it was a good defensive play by the defenders there.
So 2nd and 10 from the 42-yard line. We're down to 26 seconds till halftime. So Hillsborough's got to think more passing and probably along the sideline too.
Well, yeah, to get the ball out of bounds to stop the clock.
They go with the 4 receiver set, tripling the left. Riling will take the snap, late rush in the secondary, and a deep pass on the left side.
Oh, wow.
Little bit high, incomplete.
The defender fell down on that. He almost had an opportunity to bring that in.
And that was intended for Hudson Rudd, the senior, who just could not get it.
Well,
I mean, that was a good try, but you're down to 19 seconds. Now, the question is, Hillsborough gets the ball to start the second. I'm sorry, no, I beg your pardon. It's Bridgewater Raritan who gets to start the second half. So Hillsborough's got to be mindful. Get some points in this next 19 seconds.
This would be important to do, yes, because Bridgewater comes out with the ball in the second half. Let's see what they dial up here.
Okay, so same formation, 3rd and 10 from the Bridgewater 42. Here's Riling. Going to go with a handoff, sneaking through to about the 36-yard line. I think this is where Hillsborough needs to call a timeout and talk about it. We're down to 10 seconds and running. The question is, will they let it run? And it looks like the answer is yes. The half is over. So, in a game that we waited
hold on.
Wait a minute. The official says hold on. There's an official timeout before.
1 second left.
1 second has been put on the clock.
1 second.
1 second is put on the clock, and Hillsborough will have one shot, 4th down, and about 4 from the 36. Do you try it now, Joey?
I didn't see the coach call a timeout on that,
no
but you're right. I think we tried to go to the end zone and get something, make something happen here. It's the only thing you can do.
Well, and the half can't end on a defensive penalty too. So either you go Hail Mary here, or you try a 53-yard field goal.
I think you go Hail Mary. I'm not sure who the kicker is.
Or you do what the Dolphins did in 1981, the hook and ladder.
Do hook and ladder and see what works. Let's see what he dials up here. I'm not sure what he's going to try to do here.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Hillsborough's defense, they've been really the stars of this first half. And even though they allowed that very long 67-yard run by Goldberg on the opening drive of the game for the Panthers, they've stayed steadfast right after that.
They have. They recovered well after that, and they were able to play good defense, this whole first half right now. And the difference is their defense with the 2 turnovers.
Well, that's the key in this game. 4 receivers set, tripling to left. Here we go. Final play of the half, we thinks. Riling, going to air it out into traffic. It is knocked away, incomplete. They went for Jankowitz in the corner, but he was surrounded by 4 white shirts, and they turned the ball over on downs with zeros on the clock. So Hillsborough with a 7-0 lead at the half. Joey, your thoughts in your first half?
First half was great defensively wise. Both teams did what they needed to do. Once again, like I said, they both obviously did their homework. Linebackers are playing well on both teams, coming up and stopping the run. And blitzing also, making great plays, creating a lot of pressure and forcing the quarterback to make, some bad passes, and, which is the difference now for Hillsborough.
And I think they're going to ratchet up a notch even more in the second half, which Bridgewater Raritan will get the ball to begin that second half. But I'll tell you what, Bray's done nicely, but those 2 interceptions, I think, have been the difference. So with that, we end the first half with the score, the Hillsborough Raiders 7, the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers nothing. We're going to come back in a little bit, and we'll have the second half for you, so hang in there with us.
Walk down as a unit, buddy.
All right, we are back here at Daniel Newton Field here at Hillsborough High School in Hillsborough, New Jersey. I'm Tom Wilkins, along with Joey Pagan and Howard Caber taking care of the controls. The Hillsborough Raiders just made their way back here to start the second half. They have a 7-0 lead over the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers, who really have given them, I'd say they gave Hillsborough fits throughout the entire first half, but a key play late in the first half, a huge interception by senior back Shane Powell led to this big third down touchdown, the only one in this Pez replay that Joey will describe.
All right.
Well, that's the conversion.
That's the conversion.
Actually,
There we go.
there we go.
All right. You got trips to the right, one receiver to the left. The number 2 receiver.
Move. Oop.
Yep. All right. Yeah, the receiver did a dig out, and the defender went for the fake, wide open. I thought maybe the defender might have slipped. He just went for the fake. The receiver made a great move to get himself open, and the quarterback realized it, and great pass, great catch, touchdown.
And that was Andrew Avani, who is responsible for all 7 points of this first half. Not only did he catch the touchdown pass, he also kicked the extra point. So that's why we're at 7-0. I think the real difference in this game, 2 interceptions by Jack Bray, who threw an interception that was deflected in the end zone and caught. It's an interception in the end zone, the opening drive, and then Powell's interception was brought back to about the 13-yard line, which set up that Vonnie touchdown reception.
Which was the biggest play of the first half because it changed the momentum of the game for Hillsborough. They were able to get back and get in tune and get close enough to be able to score right here.
By the way, for those of you wondering, we did get our clock back in the southeast part of the screen, so you'll see that running, so you know how much time is left, obviously. But for those of you just joining us, like I said, 7-0 Hillsborough over Bridgewater Raritan. This game, along with many other games in the state of New Jersey, delayed because of earlier weather issues, this being one of them. That is why it is just past 9 o'clock Eastern time. We're about to start the second half.
Well, I'm hoping to see another great second half of the, between both teams. Again, defensively wise, I want to see what Bridgewater dials up offensively. I mean, they got to come up with something different this half to come up with some points and make this game even more interesting
But I think what Hillsborough's also done, for the most part, they've been able to stop the two-headed monster in Devin Goldberg and Dane Sorensen, the 2 running backs. If you recall, opening drive to game, second play, Goldberg had a 67-yard run all the way down to about the 23-yard line, but unfortunately that ended in an interception for them.
It was
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It was a very big run by the running back. I mean, he took off. He was off to the races. But once again, Hillsborough's defense, they managed to track him down and not allow him to get to the end zone and then wind up playing, again, defense, which they've been doing the whole game. It's been awesome, both teams, with the way they've been running the defense. Like I said, both teams this evening are being well coached, and they did their film. They did their work. They know each other. They know each other's tendencies, and it's a great first half of football.
Well, Bridgewater Raritan, of course, led by head coach DJ Catalano. Forgot to mention the other coaches, too. Joe Cahill, Vinny DiStefano, Pat Manna, Evan Fromberg, Sean Nunn, Kyle Prostine, Brett Siblitz, Mark Shestina, Wazal Danish, and the freshman coaches are Nick Costanzo and Kyle Murphy. All right. Probably need a new pair of glasses after this one. But anyway, getting ready to start the second half. Hillsborough goes directional kick, and they kick to an upman who falls at about the 39-yard line. Probably smart that they did that because I don't know if any of you remember this, but Nick Diesso, he is one of the special teams guys, and just a couple weeks ago, he returned the kickoff, the opening kickoff of the season, 75 yards for a touchdown. I'm sure Hillsborough is well aware of him, and that's why they're trying to keep him away from making some dangerous returns.
He had a couple of returns that first half, too, which weren't bad, so that's probably why they did that directional kick, to keep it away from him, so that this way, they can manage to play defense here and be smart about it.
Okay, so for Bridgewater Raritan, who are in their white away uniforms with the dark gray pants and helmets, Hillsborough in the maroon home uniforms with gold bottoms and numbers, and of course maroon helmets, or black helmets rather. So 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line as Jack Bray in the shotgun goes with the good old set, and they go a screen pass here, and it's caught crossing midfield down to the 48-yard line. That's a first down. Good catch.
Great pass, good catch. Missed tackle by the corner there, or the safety, I should say. Came up and tried to make a play and missed the tackle there, easy tackle.
Anthony Confalone with that catch, and now here's a handoff to Goldberg, who crosses the 45, gets down to the 44-yard line.
This tempo is something else, the way they're running the ball here. This really quick tempo, it's tough for Hillsborough to get ready.
And not only that, Hillsborough's not being able to substitute, so that gives them a better chance to score in that case. Here's another one. This one is Sorensen. He'll cross the 40, go down to the 38. That's going to be close to a first down.
Right.
Yeah, they're moving the chain, so it is a first down at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, well, they're getting these passes off, these quick passes to the slot receiver. They should bring the defender up. Again, nice running play here.
Well, not too much this time. It's going down to about the 36-yard line. Closing at that time was John Labello.
John Labello came up and made a great play on that last play there. He read the play, saw the hole, went in and made the tackle there.
I'll tell you, this Bridgewater Raritan team, they are giving opponents fits this year with this. All right, back to pass is Brian. He's going to just throw a fastball down into the ground. Didn't see anybody open.
He was not open. The defenders were right there with him. It was a good move because it would matter even if he completed the pass. It might have been for a loss at that. So it was a good move on his part to just throw the ball into the ground there.
Well, he threw it, I guess, toward an eligible receiver and was in the pocket, so he stayed incomplete there. 3rd and 8 from the 36-yard line. Brayson is shotgun, will take it. Goes back, gonna take a shot downfield, a little bit too high, incomplete. They went for Goldberg down on the far fly, and it just went over his head. I'll tell you what, Hillsborough's defense has been causing Bray to throw a little bit earlier, and that's why the passes aren't connecting.
They had a good rush coming at that moment, but he still had time in the pocket. He wasn't pressured too much. He held his ground and he stood in there. He just overthrew the ball just a little bit there.
So 4th and 8. And they're actually going to go for it. The offense is staying on the field. Let's see what Bray does. Back the pass. Looking. Going to take a shot down the field. He's got a man to the 20, the 10, and home into the end zone. On a 4th down, it's Spira. Joe Spira went along the far sideline and snags a 36-yard strike to put Bridgewater Raritan on the board. What a way to respond to begin the second half.
Great way to respond. Great way to open up the second half. Coming back out with the ball and just finding the open receiver. Looked like they were in the cover 2, and the safety was looking at something else to me, but maybe we'll see it on the replay what happened there.
It's Joe Squishini will try the extra point. He bobbled the snap, so now you have to go back to pass. He'll lob it. And it's caught for the 2-point conversion.
Great pass. Smart. Great awareness to realize the ball was bobbled and get up and then roll out to be able to complete the pass.
Oh, we got to see this one again. Bridgewater Raritan is taking an 8-7 lead on a botched extra point. We're going to have to show you the touchdown replay first. This is Spira's touchdown catch.
Well, I see a single high safety, so I'm not sure that. Yeah, he did a wheel. He did a wheel route. They didn't cover him at all. The safety was looking inside. That was the problem there. Great call by the offensive coordinator on that last play there.
What happened now?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. That was a heck of a 4th down call to get the points on the board. And even though the extra point, I didn't know if it was a designed fake or anything like that, but I thought the ball was bobbled a little bit.
It looked like it was bobbled, and he had to pick it up and rolled out and then was able to complete the pass.
So 8-7, a surprise start as Bridgewater Raritan, only a minute and a half into the second half, they've got points on the board. And now Hillsborough, just like that, we'll see if they try and find a way to respond.
Another directional kick.
Take it to 30, trying to sneak across the 40 to the 44. I think Tyler Van Cleef read where that ball was going to go, and he got a nice return out of it.
He caught that ball on the fly with a full head of steam. He was able to get by there and make a great play on the ball and be able to. He bobbled it a little bit. Thank God he managed to get it back in and reel it in. Let's see that 2-point conversion here.
Yeah, let's see exactly what happened and who caught it.
All right, let's see if it was designed this way. No, he dropped it. He dropped the ball.
And I couldn't quite see who it was. Oh,
Number 2.
It was Spira again. So he caught the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. He was just guarded from view. Here's Jankowicz on the handoff, and he's not going anywhere on that first down play. Now Bridgewater clearly has the momentum, and their defense has a little bit extra oomph after that, what the
I would say
offense just
so.
did.
I would say so. Right now, the momentum is on the Bridgewater side. I think, once again, this is a game of emotions and momentum, right? That quarterback found the receiver, got a good pass off, and then the bobble snap here for a 2-point conversion, it's something else. It really gives you the edge at the moment.
So it is 2nd and 11. Of course, the Lion King would have to be the Bridgewater 46. They are at the 44, so 2nd and 10, rather, is Rowling.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Somebody jumped. We'll see what the official says.
Wow.
False start on the offense.
So somebody moved
Repeat
along the
2nd down.
line, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty on Hillsborough, so 2nd and 15 now. And that's one thing you can't do. We haven't had very many penalties in this game, but obviously in a highly charged game like this, they're going to be even more important to look at.
Emotions are running high right now for Hillsborough. They feel that they need to get back, and they need to get a touchdown here to take back that momentum from Bridgewater here. So, let's see what the quarterback dials up here, or the coach calls anyway.
2nd and 15 from the 39. Riling this time in an empty gun. No, he's under center, though. He's going to try and be he's going down. The pressure came, and Hillsborough was not ready for it. And Riling goes down to 31. Another 8-yard loss, and what a false start has done. They put themselves 13 yards backward.
Great blitz by number 8 on the defense there. And, he just shot the gap really quick and was able to make a play on the quarterback and not give him the opportunity to get out of there.
Nick Markovich, who gets a sack there, and now very long 3rd down coming up. 3rd and 23. Ball spot at the 31-yard line. And clearly, DJ Catalano is getting his troops really fired up here as the way the second half has started.
That last sack was by number 8, I believe. Joseph.
Oh, Locotando, I'm sorry.
Okay.
3rd on 23. Here's a deep ball on
pass.
the right side. It's going to be too high and intercepted.
Guess by
at
who?
about the 24-yard line, and it is Sorensen.
There it is. Your man Sorensen on the interception there.
Taking it about the 26-yard line. But if you think about it, that's the equivalent of a punt.
That is a good, that is correct. That is the equivalent of a good punt.
So even though the field position flips 43 yards, the interception, the first turnover of the day for Hillsborough, ending up in an interception. If anything, it actually sets Bridgewater Raritan back further than they would like.
That is true, but once again, right, it's a big play still. They intercepted the ball. It's momentum. They're coming back out on offense with all this energy. Let's see what happens here.
Let's see how long they can sustain it, too.
Okay.
Remember, they played very well against Union High School last week, so you know they're in when you give a team like that such a run at home.
Yes, sir.
All right, on 1st and 10, here's a handoff slipping through and crossing the 30-yard line down to about the 32, and I think Bridgewater Raritan looks like they're exploiting that defensive line for Hillsborough.
Number 4, Goldberg on the carry there.
And with the way they run that up-tempo, like as fast of a well-oiled machine as you can, if it's that successful, it's going to be very hard to stop. Here's a pass left side. Here's somebody slipped out of a tackle, but Hillsborough came right back and pushed him at about the 29-yard line.
The linebacker number 5 came over.
Labello
made a great play on that. The first defender missed. He slid off trying to make the tackle, and then Labello came over and finished it up for him, which was good.
So now 3rd and 6. Ball right at the 30-yard line. Bray waiting on the shotgun snap. He'll take, and now calls his own number. And he'll sneak through, and he'll probably have a first down. We got a flag down late. So hold tight.
All right, I've got holding right 71.
Oh, wow.
Right 71.
It's going to be on Bridgewater.
Here. 71.
So holding on Bridgewater's line, and that's a huge penalty because that takes away the first down. And it's a 10 yards penalty, so third and even longer now for Bridgewater.
That was a great call on that last play there where, the quarterback kept the ball and ran for a first down. But, holding is a bad thing.
Especially on third down.
And this is what happened with your tempo sometimes. Your own players get a little tired and they feel like they need to do a little extra to help the quarterback get outside. So
a 10-yard penalty back to the 20. And now third and 16 as Bray stands. Looks like an empty gun. Back he goes. Looking. Has a scramble and he has a fire. Goes up the middle. Not going to be very much. Down to about the 27. So if anything, that interception really didn't hurt that much.
It did not. That's correct. It did not. Now we got fourth down. Bridgewater's got a punt. But once again, like I said, it's still.
Wait a minute. We have a injured Hillsborough player.
Well, once again, like I said, it was just a question of momentum. But Bridgewater didn't do anything with the turnover, even though, like you said, it's an equivalent to a punt, but they should have come out and do something else with the ball.
All right, so while they attend to him, we'll take a break with 6:56 left in the third. Bridgewater 8, Hillsborough 7. We'll come back in a moment.
Get ready for Countdown to Christmas, only on Hallmark Channel.
I'm going to bed.
Christmas makes me believe in love.
All right, we're back following the injury timeout. It is fourth down for Bridgewater Raritan. They are going to punt. They almost had a first down to continue their drive off an interception, but a holding foul sent them back. And now here comes a snap and a 6-step punt, which is going to go out of bounds around the midfield stripe. We do have a flag down. I'm not sure where it is, though. Let's see what this is about.
All right. Wait, Ben. I'm not hearing. What? What do you got?
I have 5 men in the back.
Oh, okay. All right, we got illegal formation.
Okay, illegal
Here.
formation against Bridgewater.
Hold that spot. Hold that spot. What do they want to do? Oh, I didn't. No, I didn't. I can't hear. This fucking radio's worthless.
All right, we apologize for that accident, but they're trying to decide as to what Hillsborough wants to do, but it looks like they are going to take the 5 yards and add it on to the where the kick went out of bounds. So Hillsborough will have it at the Bridgewater 45-yard line, 1st and 10. So that's a pretty big field position flip here. Let's see what Raritan can do. They triple to right. And there's a handoff and a big run, crossing down to about the near the 30-yard line, maybe the 28. Guess who just came with that speed? Michael Bynes.
Great run by him. Great vision to see the hole and cut back and then be able to get to the open field. And great saving tackle by the safety there to come up and make a play, because if not, he was off to the races there.
They're going to say the 30, so that's a gain of 15. Longest run today by a Hillsborough player. And that will help them as we're nearing the halfway point of third quarter. They keep the same formation. Let's see what Raritan does on 1st and 10. They give it to Jankowitz. Jankowitz will slip out, but a good tackle. Very good tackle by Alex Barbarian, the junior, to keep Jankowitz from getting a lot of yardage. They're going to give him 4.
Great tackle. Way to come up and make a play. It is what it is. Whether you get the shoestring, you get the bottom of the cleat, and you just strip him up, it's still a tackle, and you didn't allow him to break free, and there was nobody else in front of him. He would have made it into the end zone there. So it was a good saving tackle by him.
They get to the 26, so it is 2nd and 6. And they're going to line to triple up on the left side now. They got Bynes to the right of Raritan. And Bynes is gonna go plowing his way through. And
another good run.
That's gonna be close to a first down. We'll see where they spot it. Probably gonna be about a yard short to the 21-yard line. So as we run the clock down, Hillsborough trying to get the lead back. They're down 8-7. And despite a turnover in their last possession, the defense forced a 3 and out, and Now their offense seems to try and wear this team down. Like I said, adrenaline only lasts so long in this game.
Hey, you're right about that. The tempo's up tempo so fast. So let's see what they come up with here. See if they run the ball again.
A high snap. They do get the handoff, and right at the line. Let's see. It might be. Yeah, it's a first down. They crossed the 20-yard line. So Hillsborough's back in the maroon zone, and Spear was able to make the stop, but Hillsborough able to get a key 3rd and 1, and they move the chains.
Very important to make that first down there. Number 25 again, Bynes on the run. He's a hard runner, running really tough right now. So offense is moving the ball well. Let's see what they come up with here. I'd call a play action right now.
Well, Bynes is still in there. He'll be lining up to Reiling's, looks like right. And Hillsborough can't quite get the play call right, but they're going to try it. 1st and 10 from the 20. Vani in motion. Here is. There's Bynes, and a good read that time. He's still got a couple, maybe getting to the 18 for a gain of 2.
Once again, he cut back well, but the defenders were there again. They're closing in on him. They've seen him run the ball a couple of times. They know what he's looking at. They fill in the holes really quick there. So I don't know if he's going to get another big run out of this here, but.
Well, keep something in mind, Joey. I mean, you have to remember, you have to be 1,000,000% sure of what you're running, because you're down to 3:40 and counting left here in the 3rd quarter, and you want to make sure you have every play precise. I know you played a couple of games, but this is where you have to really get the gas pedal going. Jankowitz, and he's got the carry this time, and he's not going to get much.
Once again, the defense is stout. They were waiting for him. They seen that. They read it right away. Once again, defensive line and the linebackers are reading their keys and making plays.
So now it is 3rd and looks like to be a long 6 coming up. The ball's right outside the 16-yard line. And, of course, Hillsborough head coach Kevin Carty Jr. trying to make sure he gets the plays right.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they want to make sure it's a big 3rd down. They could use a timeout here, but they're not going to do it yet.
This is where Bridgewater's been really tough, with the exception of that one touchdown that they gave up, but they've been really tough here. Linebackers filling the gaps and making plays.
Here we go on 3rd and 6. Riling in the shotgun set. He'll take. Looking. They're coming. Here's a pass. Caught by Jankowitz inside the 10 for a 1st and goal. Through an exact.
Number 7.
I'm sorry. No, it's number 7. I beg your pardon. Ozokpor finally gets his first catch.
Yes. They haven't been able to connect the whole first half, and now finally they connect for a good first down here.
Well, I look like a 3, but numbers tend to disguise. But anyway, it ends up being 1st and goal, and that is a big 3rd down conversion. That's 2 on this drive.
That's two big ones right now. They have the momentum working on their side. Let's see what he calls now here.
Well, they're going to go big on the line here. I wonder if they're doing it a little bit too deep, because it's 1st and goal at the 9. You got Powell in as a fullback now. And Bynes the up back. They're going to give it to Powell. Powell will push and probably get inside, maybe to the 5. They're going to give him the 6.
He ran the ball well right behind the fullback. And once again, the defense stepped up. He's got a couple of yards there, but, the defense made a stop, which was big there. So, that was a big call for him to call a running play on 2nd and goal there. But, this is their bread and butter, looks like. This is where they go to.
Oh, and there's a shaken up Bridgewater player at the 10-yard line. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break with 1:35 left in the 3rd. Bridgewater with an 8-7 lead on Hillsborough, but for how much longer? Find out. Okay, we're back with 1:35 left here in the 3rd quarter. Bridgewater with an 8-7 lead. There was a shaken up Panther. He's getting some assistance. Let's keep something in mind here with these high school athletes. We've had a 6-day heat wave. We've had highs as high as 97 degrees in spots, including in Hillsborough and in Bridgewater, Raritan. some of these kids could be cramping up. So we have to keep an eye on it as we get into the waning moments of the game. We have a minute and a half left in the third and the entire fourth quarter to go to see what happens here.
That is correct. Even today started out high with the temperatures. It was really muggy until this rain came in and it cooled everything off.
And this is why hydration is so important.
Yes.
Second and goal from the 6. They're going to hand it off. Powell, he'll come through.
There it is.
Sound the alarm. Wilkin to the end zone. That is as easy an open hole as you can get yourself through. Shane Powell, the senior, with a 6-yard touchdown run, and Hillsborough reclaims the lead with a minute 14 left in the third.
He is having an enormous game. He is having an enormous game tonight. He is definitely, he's running all over the place. He's making plays on defense, making plays on offense. So we are seeing something here really special this evening, I would assume.
We also have an injured Hillsborough player right in the end zone, so we're going to keep it right here for a second. While we have a moment, I'm Tom Wilkins. He's Joey Pagan and Howard Gaber taking care of the controls. Hillsborough just reclaimed the lead. The question is, when we have the conversion, are they going to try for a 2-pointer?
Wow, yeah, you're right about that. I mean, it's still, if you go for 2 points, you make it a 2-possession game. Am I correct?
Peekaboo.
No, it's still a 1-possession game. So it would be, you don't necessarily need it. You would take the safe, go for the extra point, the field goal, and keep it that way. Because regardless, it doesn't give you an advantage in any way. It's a 2-point conversion, but that they would be down.
Well, either way, it's going to take a touchdown for Bridgewater Raritan to either go ahead or potentially tie this game. So that's the other thing that we also have to concern ourselves with. I mean, this has been an incredibly highly charged atmosphere today. 2 teams, one very up and coming, and a home team finally having Hillsborough having their home opener at long last. Keep in mind, as it looks like, it's number 5 who's the one that was shaken up. He probably just had the wind knocked out of it, and he's getting up on his own power right now. John LaBello, that was a little scare that we had from the crowd a moment ago.
It looked like they had the offense out there for the moment, but it looked like they brought in the kicking team, so they are going to go for that 1-point conversion right now.
So they're going to have to be in with a touchdown and an extra point in that case.
Right.
So they'll probably do the swinging gate theatrics. But then again, I don't see a kicker. They're going to try and go for 2.
Oh, they are. Look at that.
So they're going to do a triple on the right, 4 receivers set, and we'll see what Riling does this time. He awaits the snap, looking, rolling, firing. 2 points.
2 points. Number 7.
Yes, indeed. Ozukpor with the 2-point conversion, and it's 15-8.
15-8. Look at that. They went for the 2-point conversion, managed to convert, which was big. And once again, number 7, he's been having a great game today also, all over the field, offensively and defensively.
Well, why don't we show you the conversion? We're going to show you the touchdown first. We'll show you what an incredible hole Shane Powell had to run through him. He obviously could have rollerbladed if he wanted to. So watch the middle of the line for Hillsborough and see what makes a difference.
He went right off tackle. Great block. That was a great block by number 5 there, the lead block of the fullback. Took on the linebacker and opened up that hole so wide you can drive a truck through it. It was awesome. Great play there.
And it's also possible he might have gotten flattened at the very end of the play. Somebody might have fallen on him inadvertently, and that's probably why the wind was knocked out of him for just a short time.
You're right. That's correct. But it was a great play by the fullback.
Okay, so Hillsborough kicks off. And let's see where this goes. To the 15-yard line. Running far side, getting a hold of the 30, sneaking
Still on
out
his
of
feet.
1, and to about the 40.
Sorensen with the return again. This young man right here, like so many on Hillsborough, is doing a great job this evening. Being all over the field, offensively, defensively. Came up a little bit shaken up on that play.
I think what's happening now, you look at the dynamics of these players. You look at Goldberg, who's pretty much a straight runner. You have somebody in Sorensen who is multidimensional. But you also have Spira, who also has been very good as far as on the receiving tandem. So now we got a lot of multiple motions going on with only one receiver. And that keeper's not going to work because I don't think anyone knew where they were here as Bray goes down for a 1-yard loss.
The defense was not fooled again with that shift or whatever it was. That they looked like they went unbalanced. And the defense just stayed home. They didn't move. That's a good thing. And they were able to read that and make a play for A loss of 1, actually.
Yes, indeed. So it's 2nd and 11. So now I think Bray is slowing the troops down a little bit because I thought they were going a little bit too fast. Key part of this game, here's a handoff, and Hillsborough's waiting for him, maybe a yard at the most.
Not much again on that. Try to get back inside. You know, Hillsborough defense was nice and tough there. They were able to make a play. Now he got 3rd down. They got a yard. They gave him a yard on that.
Well, it's 3rd and 9, but I think they're going to let the clock wind down, and we're going to hit three-quarter time. So the clock goes 0, and we will switch sides as we've hit three-quarter time here at Hillsborough High School. Your score, the Hillsborough Raiders 15, the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers 8. We have an exciting final quarter coming up for you right after this. We're back here in Hillsborough, New Jersey, getting ready for the final quarter of this home opener for the Hillsborough Raiders. They lead the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers by a count of 15-8. I'm Tom Wilkins with Joey Pagan, and on the controls as usual, Howard Gaber here on HSG Network. Please make sure you remember to subscribe to us. Lots of stuff coming up. Here's a pitch out on the 3rd and 9, and going to be a little short by about a yard for a first down, but that was a speedy run there.
It was a great run by the tailback there. He was a good pitch. The defender managed to come over, but he didn't have good position there. It didn't look like the end held the edge. You know, it was a good toss, and they were able to get upfield for at least 9
Well, look
yards.
at this. They're going to try the Jalen Hurts play.
He got through. He's still on his feet.
Oh, he's still on his feet.
Number 2.
Spira, who's been coming in and out these last few plays here in the second half. They played the Jalen Hurts play, and it worked to perfection.
They did. They had him dead to rights in that pile there, and I don't know how he broke free from that and managed to get out to the outside and get upfield for the first down. That was a great effort by him.
That's a crazy play there. But it's 1st and 10 as Bridgewater Raritan tries to level this thing up. Oh. And there's Spira, who doesn't go anywhere and goes down for a big loss on the play. By the way, some progress scores. Hunterdon Central hangs on and beats Elizabeth 21-14. Final quarter still going on. North Brunswick over Edison 23-16. Phillipsburg 21-14 over Ridge. South Brunswick 31-28 over Old Bridge. Boy, that's quite a game going on in Howard's neck of the woods. Here's a pass that is spatted down incomplete and that will end up forcing a 3rd down there. It'll be 3rd and 13 coming. By the way, Watchung Hills 35-0 over North Hunterdon. Plainfield 14-7 over Montgomery. And Monroe and East Brunswick level at 7.
All right, let's see what they dial up here on 3rd down.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening here. All right, 3rd and 13 from the Hillsborough 48. Empty gun this time. Let's see what happens. Back to pass. Bray rolls left, looking, firing. And is it caught? No signal unless it is.
Oh.
It is a catch, and it's a first down for Bridgewater. And again, 34 with the catch. Unfortunately, we don't have his number, but what a job that he came down and came up on 3rd and double digits here in the final quarter and makes a clutch 3rd down conversion.
That was a great catch on his part. He had the defender all over him. He was draped all over him. He still managed to come down with the ball and make a great catch for a first down there. The defense was on top of him, but it was just a great catch.
So from the 32-yard line, and a fumbled snap. Bray's got the fall on it at about the 40. Oh, I beg your pardon. So number 15, that is 14, Miles Toft, the sophomore, was the one who came down with that big catch. So, and now that bad snap, which Bray had to dive on, goes back to the 40, so they lose 8 after converting 3rd and 13.
Yeah, sometimes this tempo stuff really gets to you, man. They looked like there was a little fatigue there.
Well, again, need some more. They got to sharpen up mentally and quick. They're thinking about the option, and now they do option, I believe, and they get some yardage.
Nope.
Bray keeps himself to about the 35-yard line.
He got some good yards there. He faked, and the defender said, didn't go for the fake, and he was able to get out into the field, to the outside, and make a good play.
Well,
get a few yards out of that.
They made 3rd and 13. Now they are challenged a little bit more. 3rd and 14.
Let's see what they come up with here yet.
Ball spotted at the 35 of Hillsborough. Bray in a shotgun. Back to his left. They spread. Taking the snap. Looking. He's under a rush. He's going down to the 43-yard line.
Number 25 on the
Yes,
sack.
indeed. Michael Bynes with a huge sack. And with just under 9 minutes left in regulation, Bridgewater Raritan might have to consider punting with this being a one-possession game. And their defense has done a very good job today. Do you put your trust in them?
I put my trust in them. I punt the ball, but it doesn't look like that's what they're going to do. Looks like the quarterback is still out there, and they're going to go for it.
Wow.
This is that swinging gate stuff there again.
Do you have a 4th and 22 play written up?
I don't see how you can. This is crazy here.
All right, empty gun as Bray is back. The pass is incomplete. Bray was hit late. No flag is down, and Bridgewater turns the ball over on downs.
I can't see that. I didn't think that was a good call at all, but the defense was ready. Once again, the receiver did a straight fly up the sideline, and the defense was there, and they had pressure. He couldn't set his feet to throw the ball, so it was a good play by the offense and good play by the defense.
And from a field position standpoint, this is where it backfires on the Panthers, because now Hillsborough has it at their own 43-yard line. And with the way they were able to drive the ball the last time, switching up their backs, especially with the use of Powell and Bynes, that's going to prove. That's going to see if they're going to wear this Panther team down a little bit. On 1st and 10, this one's Jankowitz. Jankowitz gets a nice run to the 47-yard line. Now, he hasn't really broken anything today, but he's at least kept this defense honest.
He's been consistent with running the ball 4 or 5 yards here, 3-4 yards, on every carry, which is good. Keeping the ball moving and getting positive yards every down.
So a 4-yard pickup. We're under 8 minutes left in regulation. Remember, a touchdown and an extra point for Bridgewater levels things up. And remember, they played an overtime game last week against Union at home where they ended up just falling short. So this team came to play, so don't count them out yet. 2nd and 6 on the 47-yard line. Riling will take it, has time, now throws at the pike, and it was intended for Jankowitz, but broken up, incomplete. And I would have to say that Lo Cortando was able to get a handle and knock it away.
The linebacker was able to drop back and realized, read the play and was able to deflect the ball and not allow the receiver to catch it. Number 3. It was a good play. It was a good play by the defense. Defense is starting to step up again. Let's see if they can get a stop here to force them to punt the ball.
So now 3rd and 6 on the 47-yard line, and this is a big play for Bridgewater's defense. And I'm not necessarily lightly stating that either.
Let's see if they come with some pressure.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yep, there it is.
There's Jankowitz who slips out. Look out, here he goes! First down to the 40, the 30, the 20. He will get to the 10, and he's in! Welcome to the end zone! Jackson Jankowitz finally broke one to sound the alarm and extend the Hillsborough lead.
Just like that, when you said he was being, he has been quiet this whole game, been consistent with running the ball, getting a couple of yards here, a couple of yards there. Credit to the young man for breaking at least 2 tackles on that last touchdown to be able to get into the end zone.
And shall we say Kevin Carty Jr. is a genius? You wore the Panther defense down.
Yes.
That's where he used Jankowitz, and away he went. Slipped a couple of tackles, and now he's running to Bridgewater Raritan. Now for the extra point, low snap, kick on its way, and he got it. Kick is good as Avani gets it through to make it 22-8, and now desperation time for Bridgewater Raritan with 7:21 left.
I guess the quarter. Let's see the touchdown here.
We gotta see Jankowitz is right. When he can break one, he can break one, and this one is a 53-yard possible dagger.
Like I said, the defense has been playing well for Bridgewater. Let me see what the end does here. He gets hooked. He gets hooked inside. Good block. Good block by the tackle, and he, once again, off to the races.
Yeah, a couple broken tackles did the trick.
That's right. Here's the last broken tackle right here, and then into the end zone. He broke 2 tackles. Once again, he went off tackle on that last play. The end of his job, he was outside. He had contained. The linebacker didn't fill.
That's his 5th touchdown of the year, 4th rushing for Jankowicz. I mean, last week against East Brunswick, he had 153 all-purpose yards. 100 of them were on the ground and 3 total touchdowns.
He was doing a little John Spina there, you can't see me type stuff on the touchdown afterwards, a celebration.
That was more like you can't catch me either.
Yep.
All right, directional kick, and will this stay in bounds? No, it goes out of bounds as Sorensen does the right thing. We've had a lot of these today, but you have to consider those X factors that have been taking place here. Jankowicz being one of them, and of course the other, whom we haven't talked today,
35?
Nick Diesso.
They haven't
They
been,
want
but
the ball, 35? Okay.
All right, the official discussing what the call is. It's obviously a
We got
procedure.
this. The legal procedure on the kicking team. First down this way.
So 1st and 10 now for Bridgewater Raritan at their own 35. Now, I believe they have all 3 timeouts, so they have 7:20 left. This game is still not over yet, and the way they play, if they execute, they can be still very dangerous.
They need a very quick strike here, but you need the coach to be smart on his play calling, because that play call on 4th down was horrible there. I mean, my opinion, the receiver came off the line untouched. He did get upfield, but the defense wasn't fooled. They were ready.
So 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Now, we've been seeing Spira come in for Bray on a couple of spots, but Bray's in here with a triple on the left. Back to pass, throws little pass, will be caught and going out of bounds. Nice grab by Colin Woodring, the senior, to get to about the 45. Think about last week what Bridgewater Raritan did. They were down 21-14 to Union, and with 6.5 left in regulation, they had a 13-play, 66-yard drive, and Dane Sorensen ended up catching a touchdown to tie. Oh! A pass that was nearly intercepted by one of the Hillsborough defenders. I think he was surprised the ball came to him. He was like, whoa, what happened here?
Yeah, our guy again, number
Powell.
24, Powell.
Yep, Powell, who has had a fantastic game, almost had his 2nd interception of the day.
If he would have gotten that interception, I think that would have just sealed the game for them. But Bridgewater's still moving. Let's see what they come up with here.
Well,
2nd and 10.
Yep, 2nd and 10 for the 46. Oh, it took a long time, and Sorensen meet John LaBello. Thank you very much. And is John down again? Because that was quite a collision.
It was. Once again, John LaBello, he had his read. He saw it. He just filled the hole and made the play back there for a loss.
Well, they're going to look at LaBello again. It's the 3rd time he's been down here. 6:55 left in regulation. Let's take a break. Hillsborough 22, Bridgewater 8. We'll come back in just a moment.
When you want reliable work, trust family-owned A&B Landscaping to make your property look its best. With over 25 years of experience, our design team will help create an oasis in your backyard with landscaping, hardscaping, retaining walls, and more. Our commercial customers rely on us for landscaping and maintenance too. So no matter what type of property, we can handle it. We're the company you can trust, so give us a call today.
Okay, we are back here in Hillsborough. We have an injury timeout here. Hillsborough had 22-8. That's the score. And again, John LaBello, whom I'll tell you what, he is going to be sore come tomorrow morning. It's the 3rd time he's been shaken up in the game. Luckily, he's been able to wake up and go off on his own power each time.
He's walking off on his own power, which is good, but he's been all over the field this evening, I should say. Defensively, offensively, he's just been all over.
So with under 7 minutes left in regulation, the Panthers are faced with a 3rd and 12. They're at their own 44-yard line. That was a 1-yard loss and a very hard-hitting 1-yard loss. Bray in the shotgun. Grabs the snap, has time, will throw up the middle. Pass is caught, Sorensen spins out.
Broke out of the tackle.
He's going to the 30, and he's knocked down with a shoulder block at the 20-yard line. I guess if SmackDown's not on, we'll see this. But now, that must have been a hard hit because the Bridgewater player is down and Hillsborough is calling for assistance. Oh, let's hope Sorensen's all right. He's one of those key players.
Great catch by Sorensen. He was able to get make a break a tackle to get some extra yards after the catch.
Well, while they attend to Sorensen, let's take a break. We're down to 6:28 left in regulation. It's 22-8 Hillsborough. Back in just a moment. Okay, we are back. We had an extended delay as Dane Sorensen had to be helped off after really getting crushed down with a hit. And he was able to get off and slowly get off on his own power. So that's very good news. We'll see if he comes back in later to see if he can assist this potential Panther comeback. It is 1st and 10. Bridgewater in the red zone as here's a pass left side. Is a man open, and it is incomplete in the far left corner. I think they tried going for Goldberg, but it didn't work.
No, that's number 8. Number 2 again they went to. Spira. They went for Spira. They tried to connect with Spira in the end zone,
Yeah, sometimes you just can't see the
numbers,
numerals. Anyway, here's a pass that is caught. Speaking of Spira,
good catch.
Spira will cross the 10-yard line.
Tackle still going.
And he's in the end zone. He got
Touchdown.
in before going out of bounds. And Bridgewater Raritan is right back in it.
That is correct.
And still 6:01 to play.
Still 6:01. Once again, it was all him right after the catch. The yak was great. He broke 2 tackles and was able to fight for the yardage that he wanted, and he was determined to get into the end zone and got into the end zone. I think they're going to go for 1 here, I believe.
Well, I would think that the safe, I mean, you could go for 2 and really take your chances here and make it a 6-point game. But if you miss, you'll need a touchdown and a 2 to level the score. Bridgewater trying to make sure they have the right personnel on. So they're going to try the extra point. So this thing is not over yet. So we got some drama here. And those of you watching in Bridgewater and Hillsborough, you may want to tell your friends to tune to HSG Network on YouTube. Here's the snap, and the extra point was tipped. It's wide left. No good.
It's a flag.
But a flag is down. Hold on a second.
You got a personal foul. Roughing the kicker here.
Oh, defense hit with roughing the kicker. So now an interesting decision here.
Oh, hold on. Was the point good? Point was good. Okay, so we're going to go half the distance. What?
So what they're going to do probably is go half the distance and retry.
So they're going to take the penalty and go half the distance. All right.
All right, so the official will make his call.
I can't give you a number. It was 2 guys. We're going to retry the down.
All right, they will retry the down. It was roughing the kicker. So the question is, will they go for 1 or will they go for 2?
Let me see.
Because now you're at the 1.5.
Yeah, now it makes a little more sense if you wanted to go for the 2-point conversion to be able to. You got more yardage, a little less to go. But it looks like they're gonna go for the extra point. They're gonna play it safe.
Well, this will also determine whether they'll need a conversion with the touchdown should they try and level this thing up.
Correct.
Something else to consider. All right, they're gonna try the extra point again. See what happens. A snap. Oh, they're gonna play fake. Rolling right. They're gonna try this again. No, they're short by a yard.
Great tackle.
They are short by a yard. And I'm not sure who made the tackle, but
number 22 from Hillsborough.
That is Mateo Del Toro, the junior, who was able to bring him down just a yard short. So the conversion fails, and now a touchdown and a 2 will be what Bridgewater needs to level this thing up with 6:01 left.
That was a great play by the defender. He came up, he made an awesome tackle there.
Why don't we take a look at Spear's second touchdown?
All right. Quick pass. He turns around. He gets by the first defender. That's 1. That's 2. And the third guy, he manages to get by also. He broke 3 tackles to get into the end zone, which was great.
And how ironic this is because, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, last week it was Dane Sorensen who tied the game against Union. Here it's Spear with his second touchdown of the game, and here we are, 22-14. This thing isn't over yet.
That's interesting you said that because Sorensen went out with an injury. If he manages to get back in this game, let's see what he can do. But
well, let's hope he's okay first and foremost. Be careful they try the onside kick here. I don't know if it's too early for it, but crazy things have happened, especially with directional kicks. This one is indeed. They get the hop,
good bounce.
And Jankowitz falls on it at the no, it's not. It's 37, I beg your pardon. I saw a 3. That's Anthony Guerrero, the sophomore, who falls on it, and Hillsborough will have it 1st and 10. And I figured that would be a possibility because of all the directional kicking we have seen in this game, that here with 6:01 left in regulation, Bridgewater and the way they play, they wouldn't mind taking that chance.
That's right. It was a good call. They didn't get the bounce that they wanted. The offensive player was able to land on the ball and cover it, and so that, they got a chance now to go back on offense. But let's see what Bridgewater defense dials up now. They got to come up with some pressure and get a couple of stops here and be able to make it.
So 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line as Rowling gets back into play here. Here's a cut. There's Jankowitz again. To 1st down. Still going to the 30-yard line and another 24 yards. I think he might be over 100 now.
It's a possibility that he might be at the moment.
Because I know he had a couple of 9s. And here with a 53-yarder now, 24-yarder, he's got to be at the century mark again.
And he's owning this 4th quarter right now. He is owning this 4th quarter. Like you said, they managed to contain him those first 3 quarters, and now he's having it his way with them at the moment.
And I'm sure the seniors on this team, they remember what it was to be like sophomores when Hillsborough won Group 5 2 years ago. So this is where experience comes into play. 1st and 10 for the 30-yard line is Rowling with a 4-receiver set tripling the far side. Jankowitz to his right. And it is Jankowitz. He'll cut through.
Again.
Look at this. To the 20. He switches gears. Look at this. To the 10. To the 5. Sunday alone again. Welcome to the end zone.
Jankowitz again with great vision. Good cutback. Was able to make the play and get into the end zone again.
And the Bridgewater Raritan crew just dropped their jaws like Wile E. Coyote because that was an unbelievable cut and a 30-yard touchdown. Jankowitz with his 5th rushing touchdown of the year and the 2nd in this half. Wow. Is this an amazing player or what?
Yes, sir. Jankowitz is owning this 4th quarter just like I said. He stepped it up right now, and that's it.
The snap and the extra point is a teardrop, and it's good. And that makes it 29-14. It's still not over. There's 5:12 left. Know how quickly Bridgewater Raritan plays.
Yeah, they do speed it up. All right, let's see this touchdown again.
Yeah, let's see what Jankowitz did this time. You talk about shifty stuff. I think we saw some things with East Brunswick. They're like the same thing. They can at least.
I believe he goes off tackle on this play here and then just cuts it back after he gets to the open field. His vision is great. He realized the defender went left. He went right, took off. Let's see it. There's it is. Yep.
Your Verizon play.
Yep. Cuts back. That's it.
And there's a checkmate.
Yep. Three missed tackles there. He got by 3 defenders. Oh, my God. Great vision on this kid. He's owning the 4th quarter at this moment right now.
And this is why when you have the X factor, and we talk about at the beginning of the game that at some point Jackson Jankowitz was going to reap his rewards. Here you go. He's fed twice here in the second half.
That is correct. He stepped it up the second half.
All right, here is the ensuing kickoff and grabbed by Goldberg at about the 5-yard line. Let's see what he does. He's got some room here.
Got a block in front of him.
He goes all the way to about near the 40-yard line. He gets spilled at a late flag. That's got to be 15 more after the play.
John, what do you got? Late hit over there?
The officials are discussing to make sure they had the correct call, but we'll let you know what the referee, Vic Simon, says.
Dead ball foul, personal, late hit.
So a late hit against Hillsborough, which will add 15 yards on the play. And it looks like they're going to be starting in plus territory.
It looks that way. I mean, these are the things that you don't want as a team. You know, you're up. You know you got a good team on the other side, and you get these penalties, you know, which gives them a little life here. You know, if they can score really quick, they can get back in this game again and possibly, you know, and possibly come back and, you know, maybe even win this. So these penalties here hurt Hillsborough. They don't, you know, they got to realize, guys got to be smart. You know, you got to realize where you are on the field before you try to take them down and stay smart with it.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 44 of Hillsborough. We're hoping for Bridgewater Raritan that everything's okay on their sidelines. Unfortunately, had some medics go over there for whatever reason. But we're gonna stay with this game here, and we'll see what quarterback Jack Bray does with 1st and 10 from Hillsborough 44. Back to pass, looking, has time. He's going to throw a shot down the field. Just a little bit incomplete, but a flag down late. Let's see what this is about. And I don't know if it was a catchable ball or not.
Defense.
But it's going to be on
defense,
Hillsborough.
Right? Pass interference.
10 the
We
receiver.
got pass
number
interference
5.
on the defense.
Woodring.
That's I believe it's a 15-yard penalty.
Where was 15 yards, Chris? 15 yards.
So that'll put the ball at 29. Remember, it's not a spot foul in high school. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line after the major foul.
15 from the 44 to the 29.
I tell you, the officials, they have called a very good game today.
They have. They've let the flow of the game go. There very few penalties, you know, only a few that, you know, needed to be called, which was, you know, basically obvious. But for the most part, they have been letting the guys play.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Bray again to shotgun. He's back. Late rush coming. He goes down at the 35-yard line. I'll tell you one person who wasn't going to be denied, and that is Mateo Del Toro, who's had a heck of a game today.
Yeah, I think that's his 2nd sack this quarter, as a matter of fact. I mean, really. He's been dialing it up, you know, like once again, the defensive coordinator has been calling the pressure, and they've been getting in there with no problems. They're not, the offensive line for Bridgewater is not picking up the blitz at the moment.
And I don't think I've seen their other star back in the game, Sorensen, ever since that injury. So let's see what happens here. 2nd and 16. Throw to the left. There's Spira. He'll get to the 30. He cuts back, cuts in, and he's going to get some more yardage inside the 20 into the red zone.
It's not Spira right now. It's number 5.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Number 5. That would be Woodring, the senior.
Woodring on the catch. Got a couple of yards there. Broke a tackle.
So that's a big play.
Late hit. Late hit. No, but late hit.
Well, and there might have been a flag down at the
We're
end.
on 16. We're on 16. You're going to the 8.
Oh, there's going to be a play against Hillsborough.
Personal. Late hit, out of bounds.
We didn't
First
see
down.
that flag, but there is a personal foul at the end of the play for a late hit on Hillsborough, and it's going to be 1st and goal at the 8.
And here it is. We still got 4 minutes left in this game. And Bridgewater's, with a little help from Hillsborough with these penalties, it's not a smart thing to do, but these guys are not controlling themselves.
These teams, and both teams have all 3 timeouts. Consider that. Bray on 1st and goal. Fires.
Oh.
Juggled and incomplete. There were a couple of Hillsborough players around trying to get the hot potato, but couldn't come down with it.
Number 15 was the intended receiver there. He couldn't hold on to it, but the defensive guys were there. He wasn't able to hold on to the ball.
Confalone, the intended receiver. 2nd and goal from the 8. Obviously, it's 4-down territory at this point. Back to pass. There's a throw, and I think the receiver may have fallen down early. It's incomplete.
Oh, incomplete pass. Yep. To Spira.
And they went for Spira that time, so this is a big play here. 3:49 left in regulation. Hillsborough by 15. This is huge.
We have must-score situation, and they must score within one of these 2 downs here.
And based upon what I'm seeing, they're doing it without Sorensen. That makes it a bit more difficult. So you got to play with what you got.
You got to play with what you got. That's right.
Here's Bray back to pass, throwing left. Pass is caught and steamrolling in. Did they get
Touchdown.
it? Yes, he did. Welcome to the end zone.
Goldberg.
And Goldberg powering his way into the end zone. So this thing isn't over yet, but they're going to need to get an extra point to make sure it's a 1-score game.
That is correct. You have to be able to make this conversion now to make it a 1-score game and then get back out and try to figure out a way to stop Hillsborough offense. And number 3, Jankovic, right, who's been having a big, huge 4th quarter here. So we'll see what they come up with.
Well, he's run for over 100 yards in his final quarter all by itself.
I believe so, yeah.
All right, well, they're going to do swing and gate here. What they need to do is they need to get a point on this conversion. If not, it's a 2-score game. So I can't tell you how important this one is.
Yeah, I still don't get this formation. Call
And,
a timeout.
and this is going to be enormous. Bridgewater is going to call a timeout on the conversion. So 3:43 left in regulation. We're going to keep it right here. Joey, as we get closer to the end of this one, what are your thoughts?
Oh, wow. This has been an amazing game this evening here with Hillsborough and Bridgewater. Like you said, Jankovic came back in the 4th quarter. He's been consistent all game, but, he's really stepped it up in the 4th quarter where he's had some big runs and run for a touchdown. And, the Bridgewater defense was kind of stout in the first half and a little bit in that 3rd quarter, but they've been worn down, and it's tough. They scored here. Hopefully they can make this conversion, but if they don't, then they got to score 2 times to be able to win this.
And I mean, it's besides stating the obvious here, but it's so important that that Bridgewater makes sure they get points. By sacrificing a timeout on a conversion, that was very surprising because considering the last few minutes of this game and however that turns out to be, that timeout is gold that they just gave back. But they are going to try the 1-point conversion. They want to make sure they get it through. Let's see how this plays out. High snap, kick on its way, and it is indeed a 1-score game. 29-21. So the best that Bridgewater can do is get a touchdown, but they'll need a 2 to level it.
Right. They got to come back and score and then get a convert a 2-point conversion to be able to tie the game up and then be able to maybe possibly go into overtime. But, the whole deal for Bridgewater here is can they stop Hillsborough on defense, get a 3 and out so that they can get possession of the ball with, maybe 2 minutes left in this game or a little more time with 2 timeouts now, not 3.
And I think Kevin Carty Jr. is going to be thinking about the ways he needs to implement the high school version of the 4-minute offense, which is more the 3-minute offense if you want to make ratios out of it.
Correct. I mean, let's see what he dials up, but first of all, they need to get a stop here. I'm assuming they're going to do a directional kick, and we'll see how that goes.
Well, it's far from over yet, and I warned everybody about this with the way that Bridgewater Raritan has played, and they have really put their hearts into this game, no matter what the outcome is. Now, they went the onside kick route last time. What will they do this time?
Again.
The other side, and it's touched by a Hillsborough player, and did Bridgewater recover it?
Looks like they did.
Yes, they did.
The signal is Bridgewater recovered. Oh, wow.
And recovered by Anthony Confalone, who has the play of this game so far.
He's been pretty good. He's got a couple of passes in the last fourth quarter here to keep the ball moving for them. And now he's got a big recovery on this onside kick here. And then great field position, too. Once again, we got 2 timeouts and 3 minutes, and not much time came off the clock. What, 3 seconds, I think, on that?
Yeah, once it's touched, the clock starts. There is a Hillsborough player shaking up down about the 38-yard line. Just a little heads up of what's coming up for both teams. Next week, Bridgewater Raritan, they will be playing a special Thursday game at home against Raritan Central. Hillsborough next week, they'll also be playing on Thursday at Ridge High School. Of course, those two had a good game last year here at Noonan Field. So after that, Hillsborough has Phillipsburg at Rutgers, then Union and Hunterdon Central on the road. They do not play another game on this field until October 13th against Somerville, and then they end the regular season October 20th against Westfield. For Bridgewater, after this game, of course, they play Hunterdon Central at home next week. Then they got 2 in a row on the road at Watchung Hills and at Ridge, and then they finish with two at home, Phillipsburg and Elizabeth, and 1 at Old Bridge. So here we go. Bridgewater Raritan with a chance to tie. They have to score the touchdown first and then go for 2 and be successful in order to do it. It's going to get loud here at Noonan Field. From the 47 of Hillsborough, here's Bray back to pass. He's looking, he's stumbling, he's in trouble. He's going to have to fire on the right side. He ends up throwing it away. He went towards Spira, but he did the smart thing and just said, we'll play another down.
He was very lucky, fortunate on that play that the defender wasn't able to grab hold of him, and he was able to get outside the pocket and be able to throw the ball downfield for an incompletion. That was good. It was good on his part. Great defense again. Hillsborough's dialing up the pressure right now. They need to bring that pressure and try to stop him here.
2nd and 10 from the 47-yard line. Bray in the shotgun once again, takes a snap. They're bringing some left pressure. Throwing left and overthrowing Goldberg, incomplete. I think the pressure had something to do with that throw.
There was a lot of pressure, but I believe, he just didn't set his feet, look like, and the receiver was wide open there. He was wide open.
They went. And now an official timeout. Oh, yeah, another Hillsborough player shaking. And this time it's the senior, Jake Bataglise. Like I said, probably a lot of cramping for both sides. Remember, we had a 6-day heat wave in September. Everyone else had a heat wave except us, and then we paid for it late.
That's correct. I mean, once again, these kids had to make sure they hydrated themselves all week prior to this game. I'm assuming the coaching staff made sure that they did, but sometimes it doesn't matter. Once the game is flowing, you lose everything as the game goes on, and you're sweating all the time. So, it happens. It happens. It happens to the best. It even happens in the pros. They're in great shape and they still cramp up.
So that'll make it. So when we resume play, it'll be 3rd and 10 with the ball at the 47-yard line. Hillsborough's group, we forgot to mention, of course, the coaching staff led by head coach Kevin Carty Jr., assisted by Don Adams, Justin Balansat, Wayne Briggs, Vince Coviello, Patrick Denapoli, Tim O'Sullivan, P.J. Jankowitz, Rocco Mazzagatti, Kevin Carty Sr., and Brandon Wister. So the player walks off on his own power. Again, likely a cramp considering how things have been. Here we go, 3rd and 10 from the Hillsborough 47. It's getting loud here on the home side. Gray back to pass. He's going to throw left, pass caught, but not for much. That time was Spira, but he only got to the 45, a gain of 2, and now you got 4th and 8 coming up.
Well, the defensive back was right there, right on Spira. He was able to make a play really quick, so LeBeau. And, it was a good tackle. And good pass, good catch, but now you got 4th down and 9. What do you do here?
Well, here's the problem. This is where tempo plays against you.
Yeah.
Because then it gives you no time to come up with a 4th down play. So they're making sure everybody is through. Remember, Bridgewater used their timeout on the conversion. 4th and 8 from the 45. Bray in a shotgun. Here he goes. Rolls left. He's looking, and throws it. Pass is deflected, incomplete. Great deflection by Van Cleve, who I believe was the one who knocked it away.
Yep.
And it is Bridgewater who turns the ball over on downs. That's huge. That is huge on the Hillsborough's defense. This has been a hard-hitting game, and you know these two teams are going to be there near the end. There's no question.
Throughout this whole game, it's been a defensive battle, and here Hillsborough's defense had to come up with one big stop to be able to hopefully seal this game. You know, let's not make any mistakes offensively, but it was a big defensive play there. Way to come up and make a stop there on 4th down was big.
Well, I better warn the teams that are going to be playing Bridgewater Raritan later in the year, beware. This team is up and coming.
They are.
I mean, they really showed a ton of heart today. If they fall short, I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of. They're building something special the way I'm seeing it today. Here's Powell with the handle who bounces on the tackle, and he's going to get about the 40, still going to the 30, still going to about the 20. He will not go down until now.
Great run by Powell again, breaking a number of tackles there, dragging defenders with him, trying his best to get into the end zone, and just, great run on his part.
Unbelievable run by Powell, and you wonder if that defense is almost spent at this point.
I think that they are. I think that they are spent. And a guy like Powell has been working this whole game, offensively and defensively. He's been working really hard. Credit to him and credit to this Hillsborough offense and defense this evening.
Now, he did step out of bounds, so it stops the clock with 2:25 left in regulation. Now, remember, it's still a one-score game. And circa Pisarcik 1978, you never know. I have to warn everybody about that. 1st and 10 for the 20. Here's a handoff cutting through, and I think that's Bynes that time. He will cross the 15 to about the 13-yard line.
Good run by Bynes. He got a couple of cuts there and made it back inside and was able to, stay in bounds also. Keep the clock running.
Well, Hillsborough's not going to be rushing. So I'm sure they're going to take whatever seconds they have off. Now, Bridgewater does have 2 timeouts left. So,
when do you use them? Because they're not calling any timeouts at the moment.
Depending on how this next play goes. If they make the stop, you use the one right here. 2nd and 4 from the 16-yard line. Let's see what happens here. A handoff, Bynes. Oh, he stopped. They only may have gone a yard. Now, do they call a timeout? Yes, they do. Timeout called by Bridgewater. They'll use their second. They're down to 1. So we're down to 1:31 left in regulation. We will keep it here. For all we know, we will be back here on HSG Network doing Hillsborough games October 13th when Hillsborough plays against Somerville. And that will be the next game on this field. The next home game they have will be at Rutgers University against Phillipsburg. That will be, I believe, a noontime game on September 24th. That ought to be a knock-em type game. Yep. Of course, Hillsborough winning 2 years ago. Phillipsburg throwing a shutout last year. How about round 3?
Round 3 seems to be
the Raritan Rumble, as you might want to call it.
There it is. Let's see what Hillsborough comes up with here. And it would be nice for them to get a score to seal this victory, but Bridgewater, let's see what Bridgewater does defensively here. Yep, they're coming out now. Let's see. We would see. Okay, and they got a fullback in.
Well, they're going heavy here. 3rd and 3. If they get the first down, they probably put this game away. Here it is, a handoff up the middle. It's Powell, and he's got it inside the 10. That should be a first down, and it is. That could be the curtain raiser.
There it is.
So what I'm going to do is, as they wrap things up, I'm going to go down. We're going to have a post-game interview following this game, so stay tuned. Joey and Howard will take care of things for a moment, then we'll have the post-game.
All right, then. He got the first down now. He's coming back out. And he is going to go for their
3 or 24.
They're running looks like they're running a victory formation here. It doesn't look like they're going to run a play at the moment.
No, they're definitely going to do victory. There's no reason. Just let the clock run down. Wait for the arm go up for 10 seconds, and then take the
knee. That is correct.
Yep. Tom, go to the 50.
Very easy. Took the knee there. What a great game this evening, gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in here. Hillsborough, Bridgewater. Howard, your thoughts?
Oh, my gosh, what a game. And I'm watching over here trying to get everything in. We got the clock in. We got everything going. You know, what a way to start our high school session, you know, to do it this way.
This game started out with some really great defense by both teams. Once again, you know, Hillsborough, my closing thoughts, Hillsborough came up with the bigger plays and were able to capitalize on those turnovers. And Bridgewater looked like they just got worn down. They couldn't hang in there that long, and they did their best. It was a great game, you know, for both teams. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you for inviting me to come out here for my first high school game. It was amazing. Looking forward to coming back.
And we're going to wait for Tom. Tom's got the microphone from the ref. He just grabbed it. He's going to get a player. I think he's going to get number 24 for Hillsborough.
Number 24 is Powell.
Yep.
Powell had a great game today. I think he had a touchdown, a couple of interceptions, and a great running the ball also. He had a great game on the field. So he was all over the field today, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I'll be glad to.
You can hear Tom.
Yep,
we can down hear there. He's got it. He's got his mic on. He's going to wait till he comes over.
Stay tuned, people. This is a post-game interview here.
First time on the field.
First time down on the field. We're going to do a post-game interview.
There's Tom. You can see Tom. He's at the 32. He's waiting for Powell to come over. He's just got to get Powell and tell him to come over so we can interview him. No, he can. We'll see. That was Chris Fox, by the way, giving us a little input on that from the newsroom. Chris Fox, our news advisor and scores. So we're just going to wait for Tom to get together, and we'll come back when he's ready.
So Shane Powell. All right, we're back here at Hillsborough High School. I'm Tom Wilkins with the star of the game, Shane Powell, and boy, was he a star today in a very hard-fought 29-21 win for Hillsborough over Bridgewater Raritan. We have Shane Powell right here. Whoop, they're signaling here. I've never done this before, so please bear with me. So maybe a little closer. Face you. All right. Gotcha. All right, so let's get you right in. All right, so let's start this again. Hillsborough winner 29-21 over Bridgewater Raritan. We were our start of game. Shane Powell, and my goodness, was he a difference on defense and, of course, on offense, too. The interception, of course, the go-ahead touchdown, that put Hillsborough to say. What you think of that Bridgewater Raritan team tonight?
I think they played pretty well. They fought hard the whole game. I have so much respect for that. But we knew from the start we were better, and we knew we should have won. That score does not reflect how much better we were than them. We made mistakes, but this is a great team win for my boys. I love these guys that I play with, and this is my family, bro. Every single one of them worked their ass off, and we got the dub as we should.
And I think the big thing too, and you've been with this team for a long time. You being a senior, you know what it takes to when you go back to your special season 2 years ago when you ran the board and won Group 5. Obviously, you fought an up-and-coming team in Bridgewater Raritan. What do you think really was the difference of this game that turned it around for you?
As I said, the difference is me and my team, we work together. We work as one. I made a mistake early on. I came on the sideline. Everyone told me to forget about it and move on. And that's it. That's it. That's all that was going to happen. And they were right. We all locked in. We all work together. We don't fight. And look what happened. We closed them down the last ones. I made that run. We won the game. This is a family win for me and my boys, man.
And any quick shots before we wrap this up?
For my whole team, my whole team, everyone on the team, I love you guys, and y'all are my number one, bro.
And Shane, you got a long way to go, but all the best of luck and congratulations. Well, it was a great win.
Thank you, sir.
All right, don't forget this thing. That's Shane Powell, of course, the star of the game with a touchdown and interception in Hillsborough's 29-21 win over the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers. And what a heck of a game. For Howard Gaber and Joey Pagano, I'm Tom Wilkins. Thanks for joining us. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you again in about a month on October